you doing, man? Avoiding the raindrops. Did you tell me that's going away tomorrow? Is that what you said, Tom, yesterday? I'm losing track.
Well, it was supposed to, but it might rain in the morning, mixed bag, sunshine in the afternoon after the game, maybe. It just, it feels like the place that I lived all winter long. It's just it's gloomy.
I don't mind rainy days, especially during the week. That's fine. Take some of the heat out of the equation a little bit. But on game day, it's a different deal. We can't be out here walking around in the rain. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
Probably not, but, it said 0%. Now they're like, maybe 30, a little 30% coverage area. So we'll see.
All right. Getting a little worried about it. It's a big game. I don't know if it would help us if it rained or not. I don't know. Maybe I think it would, especially if we're going to run the ball. Just be mutters. Just be a bunch of mad mutters.
Or bad mutters, hopefully.
Yeah, in a good way. Here's the thing. Memphis is got to be excited as hell. Their coach is. He's friends with Mike Norvell. He can't wait to try to kick his head in. It was said, at the time that Mike left Memphis that he was going with him, but then he got the job. What are you going to do? Dude got the job. I don't think that's how we ended up, by the way, with Alex Atkins. Was that guy couldn't come with him. And
Kenny D, right? Or would Kenny have been a position coach?
I don't know how it would have worked out. Mike
Kenny got the OC title, and he got to call plays every once in a while, too. So.
Yeah. Kenny got him a big win last night.
He did.
3-0, and that is a great game, a fun game to watch. I bet the game and won, so that's why it was a great game to watch, because I won. When it got up to Arizona State +3 yesterday, right before kickoff, I went, look, man, I get that Texas State might be a nice little squad. I'm going to take my 3 points with an undefeated Fighting Dillinghams and see if we can't get this win. And it didn't look good for me. I know Arizona State got off to a quick start. Next thing you know, it's 7-7, then it's 14-7, then it's 21-7, and I'm going, oh, no. This Texas State squad ain't having it. But what a comeback. All right.
I had my finger on the button, and I didn't hit it. Like, I actually queued up the parlay for a little bit of Buffalo Bills Kenny D, and it was nearly paying out at 4-1.
Oh, you should have done it.
On the money lines for both.
Well, that's the question.
Yeah, but you know what? That game with Texas State was close enough that I feel, all right,
Yeah, that's why you like the juice, though. That's why you like the juice.
Like the Buffalo one felt predictable. It did.
Well, I in my personal life, I got the Buffalo one wrong. I did, however, note before we went back to this that, yesterday on the show, I felt like kind of oddly for week 2, that Dolphins game was kind of a must-win for the Dolphins if you have any designs on winning the division. I couldn't have known I was going to watch last night as the franchise burned to the ground. I mean, they're done. Start over. I don't think it's an overstatement. Is he ever going to play again? First of all, if I'm him, I'm never playing again. He's a grown-up, so it's not like his dad can make the decision. But as a dad, I would be like, no, you don't. What are we doing here? Like, you've got the rest of your life to live. That wasn't even a hard hit, my man. That wasn't even helmet to helmet. There was nothing there. You initiated the contact. You got knocked out. I'm not a doctor. Later on, I'm going to talk to Lee Sterling, and we'll get into this, and I'll say the same thing to him. But doesn't it seem like to you, maybe doctors out there can tell me if I'm right about this. This is anecdotal. This is just context. This is when we watch guys that have had chronic, for lack of a better term, or excessive, I don't know how you want to describe it, concussion issues where they get a concussion, then they've had a second concussion. It feels like those concussions are coming fast and furious after that. Like they get them more frequently time and again. Now, I could be totally wrong on that. But it seems to me that happens a lot, that guys that have had previous concussions get more concussions.
Well, he's also tiny.
He is, but concussions beget concussions is what it seems like to me.
The key that we learned years ago was that it's about healing completely before ever suffering a second concussion, because it's the cumulative effect of a second one before the first one is done healing.
Yes, subconcussive is what that's called, Tom. Yeah. If you have subconcussive symptoms and you still play, this is what happened that led to CTE for all these guys. Yeah. They would get their bell rung, quote unquote, and then they would get back out there because, I don't know, you're tough. You're a football player. Everybody gets their bell rung. You can't be over here on the sidelines. Can you see straight? Yeah, get in there. It took years and years and years to learn that get in there wasn't the right advice. And they'd get another one like you're talking about when the other one hadn't healed, and then they were screwed. They didn't know it. They were, in essence, dead men walking. They were going to have a real hard time later in life when they walked away from the football field. Their moods were going to change. Their personality would shift.
Right.
Their behaviors would go.
Next thing you know, they're pantless with an assault rifle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. All these weird things, right? Here, like, not trying to make light of any of this. We all know how serious concussions are. Everybody does. We're right back to where we were a year and a half ago with him. These same conversations.
Before that ever happened, they're getting, torched. And
he played terrible. Yeah. He threw 3 picks. One of them was a pick 6. This is all pre-concussion. So,
well, that's also about the arm strength. He's trying to throw it away, and it ends up being a rainbow 3 yards short of the sideline.
This is why I say, I'm not trying to revel in this. I'm not like, hey, this is awesome. I'm saying you just got blown out at home on a short week where Buffalo played nearly a perfect game on defense. They also didn't turn the ball over, so that's a coaching lesson.
Yeah, no, the only thing, if I'm a Buffalo fan, that I'm looking at is for a couple of stretches there, they were able to produce large holes in the running game for Achane. Massive ones. But
couple of them. That's it.
Yeah.
It led to what? A grand total of 10 points?
Well, yeah, because then they'd stall and they'd call some kind of tricky crap. And, yeah.
Well, this is their offense.
Yeah, that's their offense.
That's their offense, buddy.
That's why they're not afraid of Miami, and nor should they be.
Well, they've won 12 of the last 13 against Miami. That's the other reason they wouldn't be afraid.
Of course, I know that stat. Yeah, that's my point is we've all been on either side of this over the years.
No, it's bad, though, man. 12 of 13 in the NFL, a league built around mediocrity, about 8-8. It's a salary cap league. How you out here getting beat 12 out of 13 times by the same team? And, man, they're not close. This is one of a slew of ass kickings that they've taken. The uniforms were sweet as hell. They got that going for them. Those are the best ones. You should wear those all the time. Dolphins should wear that every time they play.
They don't listen. You'll get it once a year.
I don't get it, man. It's it's gorgeous. It's one of the best uniforms in football. I'm not a Dolphins fan. That's one of the best uniforms in football. When they come out in that, I'm like, oh, those are sweet as hell.
How many years is it now? 10? 15? It's at least 10, I think, where they went to the Nerf-looking Dolphin thing. Yeah.
No, that look is awesome. Yep. That sort of that foresty green, that thing is gorgeous.
Some teams can't help themselves. Like Denver, I get it. You've won multiple Super Bowls, 3 now, with that uniform. That thing was made for 2001 designs.
Yeah, no, it's done.
Can we get back to the old block letter D with the horse?
Yeah, I'm giving you the horse pose.
Yeah,
the horse pose.
That color scheme's awesome. We got powder blue
and
1970s orange. They're okay.
Yeah, no, they should go back to it. I do. I'm gonna tell you. I think that. That's probably the end of it. I thought it in the moment. Now, not trying to be, again, flippant here. That sucks, man. I think we just watched a guy's career end. Now, here's your problem with all of the money, and we talked about this at the start of the year when he got his deal. Man, they're in salary cap hell beginning next year. Salary cap hell. And now you've got a guy that you would think you can't really build around. I think we're probably done here. And now what are you going to do? You got to start over. This is a toughie. I think we watched the Dolphins end last night. I'm not even kidding.
Turn the page.
By the way, the Bills ran a grand total of 45 plays. That's all they ran. 45 plays. How do you beat somebody's ass so thoroughly running just 45 plays?
You saw how?
I did. By the way, it's not just the 3 concussions for Tua, which is a lot. It's 5? That's somewhat allegedly 5 because some of this is protected. But I think he was the thought is that he had no fewer than 5 surgeries while he was at Alabama. So you've got a dude who's had 5 surgeries and 3 concussions.
He's more machine now, man.
So Memphis rolls in here wanting a huge win. So if you're a group of 5, okay, and you're in the AAC and you need a signature win. Now, it would have helped them if Florida State hadn't begun the year 0-2. that could turn out to be not much of a win if they get it Saturday, but they're not going to get it Saturday, damn it. Anyhow, they could have used a little help from Florida State. Nonetheless, they need to win the game. They have to win the game. They have to be, because if you're a group of 5, this is it. Like, you got to, when you get these chances, this is what you get.
No, I mean, it's essentially you have to win your conference and then politic.
Yeah.
That's where they are.
And we have a win over.
Right.
Is how you politic. So they're going to fight like hell. This is it. This is their grand opportunity to make the case. And, listen, recently Memphis, we know they, by the way, they wanted to join. They've basically told anybody that would listen, much the same way that SMU did. We want to join either the Big 12 or the ACC. We want a piece of the pie. They're like everybody else. They want to eat. And they know that where they are ain't going to get it. So they told everybody, we'll take less. SMU doesn't get anything for 7 years, as an aside. 7 years. You talk about, well, maybe we'll think about letting you in. Why don't you stretch? I've got an offer for you here in a second. I mean, my God, what they did to SMU is cold.
Whatever it is, yes, we're in.
But I don't think you're going to like this offer. Are you limber?
Did you say 5 years, no money?
7.
Make it 7.
Make it 7.
Go ahead.
7 years.
Don't care.
We don't get squat.
Come on.
Put her there.
Put her there.
I mean, even like Stanford and Cal and them got like 30% or whatever. I mean, they get a little something to butter the bread. Here's a little, get you some crackers, a little something.
I hope they hired a negotiating consulting firm. Oh, I got you in.
All right. What do we get? Nothing.
For 7 years.
Nearly a decade, you ain't getting a damn thing. A patch. You get a patch.
Right. They'll give you the stencil for the field paint.
Which kind of patch?
I had to really work on that, though. They don't have many of those things. Those are expensive, those stencils.
They weren't about to part with the spray paint. We got it. Put it on the field. ACC. All 35,000 of those fans filing in on Saturdays are going to be pumped.
They keep one in reserve for Notre Dame, but I talked Jim into it. I said, come on, Jim. I'm here.
And Notre Dame's never going to join. We're here joining.
We're playing for free. Come on. You can give me a stencil.
35. Anyhow, so Memphis wants to join. They could they could beat the defending ACC champion and say, see, let us in. We're better than you. They do have a $25 million NIL investment partnership with FedEx. That's doing some things. I wish we could look around and be, oh, look at that. Amazon, having been born in Tallahassee, has really paid dividends for our NIL game. Wouldn't that be great?
That's what it is. FedEx is like, all right, what do we got coming up this quarter? Well, Memphis needs some money. How much? 25 million. Oh, geez.
I got that in my pocket, guys. I got it in my pocket.
We're into the Saudis for 725. Get out of here.
There it is. No, I understand, David, that SMU has a bunch of billionaires. I get it. It's just cold-blooded to not get a damn dime for 7 years.
You might as well call it the SEC at that point and say, we don't need money for
we don't want any
15 years.
Yeah, I agree with you. Call the Big 10.
2040.
Yeah.
That sound far enough away? I see you went to 2045. No money. Seriously. Just give us the stencil.
Buddy, if you're SMU and the billionaires have decided we care, finally, it's been since we were banned from football that we've had any kind of publicity, but now we're back. We want to win and we care about football. Okay? Yep, we're going to add to the stadium. We're going to get real about this trying to win stuff. I need you billionaires to write some checks. Let's go. Yeah, at that point, why not go for broke? Just call the SEC and be like, listen, I know you don't need us, but it's free. You just throw us in here. I promise you we're investing more than anybody else, maybe even Texas.
And you call ESPN first. You don't call the SEC. You don't call Mr. Sankey because you say, you want that 9-conference game? You can get closer to 9 conference games for free. For free. We'll even build you the studio. We'll do it all.
So they'll be hungry to get a win.
Like Bjorn Werner.
Who it was great to see in Ireland. That was fun and somewhat surreal. Sitting up on the big stage with him, having a conversation, thinking all these years later, I'm talking to Bjorn Werner and we're in Dublin, Ireland. Very strange.
It's starting to happen to me where these guys that I was peers with or maybe just slightly adjacent to in age
are balding, getting fatter, having kids.
Well,
yeah.
he
looks
like an adult who's in, he's got his priorities in order, but he looks like an adult. I'm like, oh, that's a grown man.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not a kid anymore.
Damn it. When we brought him in, I was 20 some odd and he was 19.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
No, he's grown up with what? 4 kids, 3 kids? What did he say? He told us. He's been busy having kids, what he's been doing.
You must remember.
I don't remember, but he could break me in half. Just shaking his hand made me realize that. I was like, holy Jesus. He's a strong dude.
He is.
He's got heavy hands. Heavy hands.
Right.
You can feel it. As soon as he's like, whoa, I'm like, oh, okay.
Munich monos.
All right, let's talk here in a second about what we're going to see. What we're going to see tomorrow from our beloved Noles. But first, let's tell everybody about the goings-ons. The goings-ons. We've got a thing today after the show at 5 o'clock. By thing, I mean we're hanging out for happy hour at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Should be good. I'll see Corey there. Are you going to be there? You going to swing by and have a cold brew?
I'm listed as questionable,
okay.
And that's not one of those like I'm not going. It's just I'm feeling a little run down.
The legal update, Florida man in Alabama, is not much. Anyhow, I'm going back to this. Tomorrow, you and I, studio show right here, 9 a.m. We'll knock that out. And then we'll drive over to Hotel Indigo, where we'll be there at 10 a.m. And the first thing we'll do is go to the 7th floor and order a Bloody Mary.
That's correct. I'll be there 100% for that.
You're not going to miss that one.
Well, I'm trying to make sure that, look, man, you guys are on the marquee for the Indigo, or sorry, for the CP one. And I love the CP.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to choose, well, I mean, Indigo it's our pregame sponsor. I got to be there. And I look forward to a spicy bloody. That can help when you're not feeling 100% health-wise, too.
I think it can help really in any situation. Really, any situation.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some celery.
Don't go and ruin this stuff. Sorry-ass celery. Hate it. Still, some things I've come around on in my old age. It appears I'll be going to my grave with a disdain for celery that never wavered. I've hated it from day one.
You get into your mid to late 60s, you got a shot.
I doubt it. You think one day out of nowhere I'm just going to eat first of all, somebody's going to hand me some celery, or I'm going to eat a piece of celery in a salad or something, and I'm going to go, you know what? This celery is delicious. What a revelation.
No, I think what you're going to get is celery instead of carrots for your wing side. You're going to dip it in the sauce. You're going to go, yeah, I kind of like the crunch. I kind of see what this is about.
No. I will tell you this. The one surprise, besides the cantaloupe, which I grew from loathing to now loving. I love a good cantaloupe. Same with avocados. Love avocados. Love them. I'll eat an avocado every day. They're delicious. I can eat 2. I love them. The same thing, though, by the way, happened with me with the sweet Vidalia onions. I never liked them back in the day. I love them on everything now.
The most frustrating thing is when you get a white onion instead of a yellow or a sweet onion.
I want that purple sweet.
Oh, the purple.
Yeah, the outside. Purple? The outside is purple.
Okay.
Aren't those the sweet onions?
I believe the Vidalias are the yellow.
Oh, well, then I had that wrong. Then I like the sweet purpley ones. I don't even know what they're called.
Those are the ones that are on salads and burgers.
They're delicious. Yes, those are good. Yeah. Those are good. I don't like the other onions. You like every form of onion.
I do. Well, no, except for the white onions. They're kind of bitter.
I told you, my good buddy, Luis Morales, dear buddy, was from Guatemala. He and I would play every day after school together when we were in middle school and elementary school, and I would go to his house, I'd ride my bike, and he'd walk through the door, and he would grab either an onion out of the fruit bowl or red onions. You guys are right, red. I call it purple.
At you. You are being yelled at.
I don't care about onions. I don't think about it.
Red
onions, you're right. The red onions, they're good. Celery does suck. Carrots are good. Red onions, that's correct. Well done. He would walk through and grab he'd either grab a whole onion or he'd grab a whole green pepper like they were apples. Oh, yeah. And he'd walk into the kitchen and just start eating a green pepper or an onion like it was an apple. I still can picture it. I'm forever altered for having seen that. I mean, I'm like, good God, man.
I don't know about the onion full bite that way.
No.
Peppers. They're delicious.
Peppers.
All kinds of bell peppers, every color. Amazing.
Falling interest rates might interest you.
Even more interesting.
If you have credit card debt, you are paying high interest rates on, which is most anybody that has credit card debt, or considering home improvements. Shannon, I am. We need to talk about this. Give Shannon a call today. He just saved a borrower over $2,000 a month by using the equity in their home to pay off the debt and increase their credit score over 100 points. That's a good thing. There's Shannon right there. Hey, he's smiling at us. That's a diehard Knoll doing some serious business all over the country and all over the state. Shannon Young, loansforknowles.com. That is loansforknowles.com. Hit it up. Find out more. He's good, people. I wouldn't have let him on the show. I wouldn't let him on. I said, you keep these folks away from me. I'm not pushing this. Oh, it's Shannon. I know Shannon. He's a badass. I'll funnel people to people I trust and who do good work. He's one of them. Shannon Young, loansforknowles.com.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Wooden Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at woodenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
Hey, Knoll fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Don't miss TSC Tuesdays every Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. during the Greg Tish Show. Find out what's happening at Tallahassee State College every Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. on Real Talk 93.3 FM.
Routing and construction services. G-Bar Construction.com. We conquer all creeks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-134. G-Spark Enterprises. Roofing and construction services. G-Spark. G-Spark Construction.com.
CCC 1331204.
This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Sellers, are you stuck between wanting to sell your home and waiting for rates to fall? Are you worried about the contingency of having to sell your home? What if you didn't have to? With a 2-1 rate buy down, you can lock in a lower interest rate for the first 2 years of your mortgage and get the home you want now, all while having a higher chance to buy that next home with the contingency of selling yours. If you wait for rates to fall, you risk more competition, sellers less likely to wait, and paying more for that next property. If you're stuck, we need to talk. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. Again, this is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. That's 954-369-6171. And don't forget, for every loan we close for our fellow Knolls, I will personally donate $250 to the Battle's End.
Equal housing rent. NMLS number 373031.
This announcement is brought to you by Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey.
If you're driving right now, you should know there's an 80% chance that the cars all around you don't carry any bodily injury insurance. Most people don't realize it, but in Florida, all the law requires is that drivers carry property damage insurance. This means that the texting teen drifting over into your lane or the drag racer on your rear bumper have no way of compensating you or your loved ones when they cause a crash. And this should scare the hell out of you. Fortunately, there's an easy way to protect your family from this, and it's called uninsured motorist coverage. It's an absolute must, but a lot of insurance companies are convincing folks to drop it just to save a few dollars. Take it from the personal injury experts. Don't. At Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey, we've recovered millions of dollars in uninsured motorist coverage in crashes where our clients would have otherwise received nothing. So please, call your agent right now and make sure you have uninsured motorist coverage on your policy. We hope you'll never need it, but we'll be here for you if you ever do. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Don't settle for less.
Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Libations Friday means it's time to talk to our good friend Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, who's come out the gates swinging. A couple weeks ago, 5-0, 4-1 last week, domination. And hopefully, Lee, that'll help you get over last night's debacle down in Miami as the Dolphins fall again to the Buffalo Bills and Tua is hurt again. And you can start to see this kind of ugly future with the salary cap looming large next year. Like, is this it? Did we watch the end of the Dolphins last night? Are we watching a total rebuild starting, next season?
I think there's a very good likelihood. It was rough to watch. I mean, if he was my kid, I wouldn't let the kid play again. It wasn't even that big of a hit. No. I probably took 200 hits, tougher than that in my career. I only made it to 2 years of college football.
No, that's the thing, right? When we see I'm not a doctor, and right. This just may be anecdotal, but honestly, Lee, when we watch these guys who have concussions and then they have more frequent concussions after the original concussion, oftentimes you notice it's not a big hit. It's something minor, and the next thing you know, they've got another one.
He initiated the hit. It wasn't like it was helmet to helmet either.
No.
It was to the chest area. I think DeMar Hamlin, how ironic that it's
I know,
him.
Couldn't believe it. Yep.
Yeah, he feels terrible. But, I think at the very best, comes back in 4 or 5 weeks. But best case scenario, he's one hit away from his career being over. Worst case scenario, he's done. And if he was my kid, I probably wouldn't let him play. And, I said two things. I said they should have drafted Justin Herbert from the beginning.
Yeah, big guy.
I think it's probably time to move on from the GM and his recruiting staff. And number two, they're going to have to, like I said, totally rebuild this thing and probably have to get rid of some of the stars like Hill and Waddle and Holland. I'm hearing there's just not much leadership on the team, and you can't lose 12 out of 13 times in such convincing fashion most of the time to Buffalo the way they have.
That's the other point, Lee. I said yesterday when previewing the game, or the other day when previewing the game, I said, it's not like the Dolphins have been close. They get blown out when they face the Bills.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I don't think Buffalo's the same team. Buffalo played well. Let's give them credit.
Yeah, they did.
Great team, but they did play well. But, the problem here is, can they do something in the meantime? I don't think so. Let's say they bring in Ryan Tannehill or Skylar Thompson plays. The ceiling is just 7 or 8 wins. That's it. So you can't really do much this year. But they got like 4 running backs, so they're going to have to become a running team. And these had so many weaknesses. If you want to protect the quarterback, their 2 tackles are good, but the center and the 2 guards are horrible. These are like those 3 guys are in the bottom 5 in the NFL at their position. So talent evaluation is not the strength of the Dolphins. So unfortunately, we're looking at probably a full rebuild away.
Evaluating these games has been your forte lately. Let's keep it rolling, brother. We've got Alabama right off the bat. What's interesting, Lee? I'm sure you see this when you watch the tape, and especially if you went back and watched USF and Alabama. Yeah. Those 2 corners for Bama, they're so young. They're freshmen and redshirt freshmen. They leave guys wide open.
Yeah.
A lot, Lee, a lot. But I don't know anybody can make them pay. Can Wisconsin make this team pay for doing that?
So here's what Wisconsin tried to do. They, under their new coaching regime, they hired Phil Longo from North Carolina as their coordinator. And Phil Longo said, okay, first year, I'm going to bring in Tanner Mordecai. Tanner Mordecai, the year before at SMU, I think he had 35 touchdown passes. What does he do when he goes to Wisconsin? Goes for 9. This year, they bring in Tyler Van Dyke. 2 games. Tyler Van Dyke throws for 192 and 214 passing yards. That's it. And a total of 1 touchdown. That's it in 2 games against Western Michigan and South Dakota.
Not good.
So it's not like they're playing against a high level of competition. They are going after receivers in the portal and not getting them. They don't want to go there. Probably the last best great receiver for Wisconsin was Al Toon. So if you watch their receivers, you watch tape, they get no separation at all. If a team had good receivers, they could do some damage on these young corners for Wisconsin. I'm sorry, of Alabama. I just don't think the Wisconsin receivers can. And then how do you stress out Alabama? You maybe can run the football. Braylon Allen, he ended up graduating, going on to the NFL. So the running game isn't as good as it used to be. Tyler Van Dyke is no great shake here. I don't think that Alabama is going to fumble the ball 3 times like last week. Their special teams are usually very good. I think it's going to be tight for a while. Then Alabama pulls away and wins 35-13.
All right, so we're laying the 16.
Yeah.
Kentucky looks terrible, and they've got to play 4 of the top 7 teams in the country in the current rankings. It starts this weekend with Georgia. It's a tough go. We talk about Florida's schedule. Kentucky's schedule is tough, especially when you get blown out by South Carolina. Are we laying the 24 here or no?
So here's what's interesting about this guy. I talked to a kid who played at Kentucky, and I asked him, what is it? You guys get up for some games sometimes. He goes, well, Mark Stoops, the intensity in practices when we're an underdog, just at a different level. And that makes sense. I mean, when they're a favorite, look, 7, 10, 14 points, they either barely cover the game or they lose outright. I mean, they just hold it. The offensive execution was horrendous last week. Couldn't run, couldn't throw the football, couldn't catch it. Play calling was poor. South Carolina played way better than they did the first week, but it's a new week. So now they got to play the best team probably in college football, Georgia. So if they had won last week by 7 to 10 points and Georgia had won by, let's say, 10 points against Clemson, this line would probably be sitting at like 16, 16 and a half. You're getting a full touchdown extra as far as value here. Now, Georgia blew them out last year, 51-13. Mm-hmm. But the 4 games before that, Kentucky covered all 4 against Georgia. And you got Brock Vandagriff, former quarterback at Georgia. He's the starter at Kentucky. You got to think he knows the Georgia defense. So he should be motivated, should play at least better than last week. They're probably going to want to shorten the field and just get first downs and stay in the game here. And Georgia, in the 4 wins before last year, had scored 30 or less points, all 4 games. They held them 2 of the games to 13 and 16 points, did Kentucky. Defense is about emotion, energy, and I think Kentucky is going to bring it here. They're 15-11-1 as a road underdog. I think Georgia wins 38-17. I'm going to play Kentucky, and I know you played some underdogs. When you play an underdog, what you want to do is every time a guy's near the out of bounds, you're like, you're winding
keep that clock running, baby.
Wind it up. Do you do this after timeouts too, Jeff?
Yeah.
You're like, is this still the same time? Did they maybe wind? Did they start winding the clock? While they're in the huddle, you're open.
Oh yeah.
I think Georgia
wins. Bounds. Don't run out of bounds, you bum. Yeah,
right. No, he didn't go out of bounds.
No. His momentum had stopped. You got to keep that clock rolling. All right.
38-17, Georgia. Kentucky covers.
Missouri and Boston College. Missouri, well thought of. That's a big spread. Depending on when you jumped on this game, you could have got it maybe at 16. It's up to 17. It's moved around a little bit. BC, first year of the new coach, but it looked good out the gates. Your thoughts?
So I love the nickname for the Missouri defense, the Death Row defense. I'd love to get a T-shirt with that. That's kind of cool. They're going for the 3rd straight shutout. But Bill O'Brien, you saw him, may not be a warm and fuzzy coach, may not be a great talent evaluator for the NFL, but good play caller. And you saw he has a quarterback, Thomas Castellanos, that got better from last year. And he's a dual threat guy. I think he'll put some stress on this Missouri defense. They want to limit, they don't want 14, 15 possessions for each team. If they can limit this game to 8, 9 possessions, then Missouri has to score pretty much 3 more touchdowns than Boston College to cover. So I think that's their intent here. Here's something I noticed also about Boston College. Tell me if you saw this. I thought their defense was much better than last year. I think maybe a year. Their training staff for Boston College left and went to the Steelers. So whoever the new training staff is, I thought the kids were bigger, stronger, faster. Did you see that with the Boston College defense?
I like their defense. I like their defensive line, Lee. I think that that's the main part of what I saw that looked different. I think their defensive front is a veteran-laden defensive front, and they are bigger, and they're tough to move.
Yeah, and also guys in space were making tackles. Where in the past, running backs were being able to stiff arm guys and continue. So I think Missouri's offense is really good. Cook is an excellent quarterback. Luther Burden, the third, probably a top 10, top 12 pick in the draft next year. But 17 points is a little bit heavy. I'm going to go with value here. Missouri 34-24. I think BC keeps it close.
So I'm interested to hear what you have to say about Florida State, because we're all trying to guess what kind of Florida State team we're going to see on Saturday. I think it's a desperate time for Florida State. Obviously, within this season, you got to get a win here. You got to get out of your head. You got to start playing physical and fast. You got to start having some sort of identity. It's tough to guess what we're going to get. They're giving 6.5 to Mike's old team in Memphis. What say you?
So when I watched the spring tape, and I think I mentioned this first time we did a show this year, I said they need to be more of a run-based team, does Florida State.
Oh, sure.
And they were not going to be able to throw it all over the yard like last year. Are they as talented as last year? No. But if I was the head coach, if I was Mike, I'd say to my offensive coordinator, let's sit down with DJ. We have the off week. We have the bye week. Let's ask him, what are the 20, 25 plays he feels most comfortable running? And if they do that, they might be able to come up with a game plan that makes him feel more comfortable. Obviously, they don't think they have anyone else at quarterback, so you got to run with what you have. First couple of years, he was at Clemson. Pretty good running threat. He ran a lot and did a pretty good job. I think they need to incorporate more RPO, and it's not like you're saving him for anything here. Memphis, they haven't been tested yet. They played Northern Alabama and Troy. Troy is in a total rebuild. Troy, I think, returned 4 or 5 starters from last year. Pretty much all their backups from last year are starters. Most teams are looking to get guys in the portal. They didn't go that route here. Memphis only had 367 yards against Northern Alabama, 372 against Troy, and only 59 rushing yards. So I think that Florida State can control the line of scrimmage here. It's now or never for Florida State, and I'm going to take the Fighting Norvells here. Florida State 28-17.
I got the Noles winning the game as well. All right, Bucks-Lions. The last time we saw this game, the Bucks played the Lions down late into the fourth quarter in the playoffs. Kind of surprised some people. And in fact, pretty late in that game, if a couple of things had gone right for them, they could have won that game. They're catching 7.5 to 7, depending on where you look. Lions blow them out. That's a great offensive line in Detroit. Some say the best in football, but I think the Bucks are a decent team. This is a big number.
Yeah, people just talk about the last game. How about Detroit? They go to the NFC Championship game and probably should have won it. And for doing that, the NFL says, "Oh, you got to face the 2 teams you faced in the playoffs where you barely won." I mean, no easy games to start the schedule there. Now, everyone remembers the last game, but in the first game, Detroit won 20-6 in Tampa. I have a feeling that Detroit, as the season progresses, they're going to give the ball more to Jahmyr Gibbs, running the football and also in space, throwing the football to him. He is a game breaker. He's one of those rare guys in the NFL that can catch or run a ball, break a tackle, and go 70 to 80 yards. St. Brown didn't have much of a first game. I think they're going to want to incorporate him more this week. The Tampa corners are usually pretty darn good. They're very physical. But that offensive line, really good. Baker Mayfield looked great last week. But remember, it was against Washington. Washington's defense, their 2 pass rushers, Young and Sweat, were traded away last year, and they had a bunch of breaks in coverage last week. They are really bad. They're in a full rebuild there. I think it's going to be tight for a while, but then Detroit wins the game here, 28-17.
Free play of the day. 2 teams that need to get a win. Texas A&M and Florida. I know Florida beat Samford, but it's Samford. I think this is an interesting number. A&M is favored by 4, 3.5, depending on where you look. How can folks get this game from you, Lee?
Yep, you want to get it for free. First 5 callers, call 800-400-9741. We'll give them the game for free. 800-400-9741. Jimbo's old team, A&M, see how they do with Mike Elko at the helm here. They haven't won a road game. I think it's like 4 or 5 years.
They never win road games, Lee. They never win.
So it's a big game for them, big game for Florida if they want to keep some recruits. So they're going to start Mertz here at quarterback. So said both quarterbacks will play. So let's see how it goes. You want to get it first 5 callers, 800-400-9741. And football, September to remember, you want to get our phone service. 3 weeks, $397. You're going to get 9 to 12, 9 to 13 games every single week. And also the UFC, they have a pay-per-view, Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley, fighting in the Sphere on Saturday night. 5 selections, $57. So you want to come on board. Now's a really good weekend. We also have our underdog shocker game in the NFL. Team's an underdog. I think they win the game outright. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Send that text, Lee. I want that underdog pick, buddy.
Okay.
I want that pick. Have a good day, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Sounds good, Jeff. Take care.
Yeah. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. It's off to a great start. Man, he's been on a roll lately. Again, he joins us every Friday. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Tallahassee police have arrested one armed and dangerous suspect after a home invasion escalated into a shooting near Appleyard Drive Wednesday. As 2 suspects fled the scene at the Socials 2700 in a vehicle, the suspects fired several gunshots in the area. No injuries were sustained in the shooting. At this time, one suspect has been detained and officers are working to locate an additional suspect. The preliminary investigation revealed this is an isolated incident and there is no ongoing threat to public safety. The residence is near Tallahassee State College, prompting school officials to issue an alert around 3:30 p.m. Urging people in the area to seek safe shelter immediately and await further instructions. The investigation remains open and active, and updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Discount grocery chain Aldi is set to open in Thomasville on Thursday, September 19th. Customers will have the opportunity to enter a sweepstake during the grand opening weekend for a chance to win a $500 Aldi gift card. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with a chance for storms. Highs around 81, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows around 73 tonight, slight chance for storms. Chance for storms tomorrow. Highs level up around 85, more clouds and sun. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 75.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. As the man just said there, by the way, more developments in that Deshaun Watson situation. 2 other lawsuits waiting in the wings, Tom, just been mentioned in a recent story from the AP. Browns are going after that contract, buddy. They're going to get out of jail free. They're going to get out of jail free. Those bastards. I get it. If he's guilty, obviously it's terrible. Terrible. I'm not talking about that. That's a given. Everybody knows that. But those dumbasses who did the unthinkable are going to get out. They're going to get out of it. You watch. Because if the NFL has to suspend him again, you know that the Browns are going to say, well, I mean, we're voiding the contract.
Yeah, they get 4 calls, but they'll never get those draft picks back.
No, they won't.
So that's the cost.
Yeah, but damn it, man.
Also, Nick Chubb got hurt in the process of this, and their roster's getting older. If they had a quarterback who was good, this was a window.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. From under that umbrella, I bring you Daniel Harris, arrested last night in Athens by Athens Clark County Police for driving recklessly. Hey, a Georgia player, defensive back in this case, busted for driving recklessly. Is that like 20? How many have there been? This is insane.
People have died.
This is insane. By the way, this guy took it to a new level. He was driving recklessly, was Daniel Harris, allegedly. Cited, obviously. But he did so with an unregistered vehicle that didn't have a license plate. When he got pulled over, he had no proof of insurance as well. They don't care at all in Athens. It's like, rules? There are no rules here. Whatever you want to do, my man. So I like to get down by racing vehicles late at night during the week. Okay? You're going to like Athens. We've got some like-minded folk in this program. They, too, like to get down late at night racing vehicles to get through the week. I'll do you one better. Don't have insurance? We don't care. Don't have a driver's license? Who needs one? So what do you say? I think this is my place to play football for 4 years, coach. Oh, yeah.
That sounded like a Montel Williams commercial for just a second. You don't have insurance?
Don't worry about it. Don't care.
No license plate? No problem.
Reduced visibility on your windows? Not a problem. Whatever you want to do.
We can front $3,000 today. Give us a call.
He was booked at 10:40 last night, released at 11:49 p.m. That's a quick booking. That's a quick booking. They're very expedient there in Athens. They get you in and out. Officer's like, I hate to have to do it, but the national media's been looking at us lately, so I've got to cite you. But don't worry about this, Daniel. We'll get you out of here in no time. Last guy I booked for this last week, we were able to get him in and out in under an hour and a half. I'd like to break my own personal record on that. Let's see if we can't get you in and out of here in just over an hour. So at 11:49, which was an hour and 9 minutes after he was cited, they were high-fiving, baby. Look at that. We are so efficient. An hour and 9 minutes, that kid's back doing whatever he wants to do, hopefully racing.
I hope he was stealing soda with ketchup cups.
The former 4-star product of Gulliver Prep there in Miami made 6 appearances during his first season on campus. Did have a tackle against Florida State in the Orange Bowl. He did have that. He did have that going for him.
A lot of people did.
Yes. You think he starts Saturday?
Does he have to?
I don't know. It's just, Kirby Smart's got to be like, okay, what do? This seems so self-explanatory. We've had 40 guys get popped for this. What are we doing?
Well, you dismiss players. He won't do that, though. Come on now. You dismiss them. Guys, I mean it this time. Sure, coach. As they drive away in a car with no license plate. Middle finger extended out the window.
No registration, no proof of insurance, no driver's license.
Screaming, pull me over. Pull me over. Pull me over.
How do you get that far along in your driving career without having insurance, a license, or registration?
Recklessly. That's how.
I can't help but laugh. I know it's serious, but sweet Jesus, man. It's every other week. Every other week. It's the latest in a list that includes the likes of Trevor Etienne, the Mondin kid, Scobie White, Bo Hughley, I think it's something like 9. I think we're up to 9. 9, including some deaths.
Right.
Or a death, anyhow.
How many after the death? 6?
Post-death, I think we are at a full handful. I think we got a full handful post-death. There have been a couple leaving the scenes that they couldn't quite track down who everybody was. I mean, that's... I would think a university president would step in. I'm serious about that. Like, if your coach can't get it under control for whatever reason, I don't think Kirby Smart's this immoral guy who's just like, screw it. I'm sure he's told them all that we can't do this. We can't continue to do this.
I don't know. Kirby was able to get some freedom of information laws changed in Georgia when in the state when he first took over there in Athens. I don't know if the president can step in that situation. If you can go politically and go that level and get results, man.
It's, I mean, they were given tickets for jaywalking back in the day, left and right. And then he got it turned around because it needed to be turned around. They were getting busted for like public drunkenness and silly things like that, right? Teams, Mark Rick's going to be like, really? Hour number 2, 4th, coming on a Libations Friday. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. About my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
There's no heating and air conditioning.
Pinch a Penny Pools has the largest selection of premium hot springs hot tubs in the city. You might even call it Tallahassee's Hot Tub Hub. 12,000 square feet of hot tubs, with over 50 of them on site. Over 20,000 gallons of tub capacity to choose from. That's 4,620,000 cubic inches of hot tubs. But I digress. So why should you own a hot tub from Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, you might ask? Well, I'll tell you. Number 1. Health benefits, of course. The healing powers of soaking in a hot bubbling pool of water go back centuries. Google it. Number 2, Pinch a Penny has hot tubs with technology called Freshwater IQ. It gives you real-time chemical readings and tells you exactly what to add to keep the water at peak perfection. With automated analysis to help you control the chlorine and pH. It's hot tubs for dummies. Sign me up. Number 3, they have the best prices, of course. Plus you get a free accessory and no interest financing. Easy peasy. But if you don't want to take my word for it, check them out yourself. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas. Locally owned, locally operated, and the easiest way to find
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Crescent, Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 brought to you by Omar's Pawn, Gun and Gold. More than you might expect with 2 great locations in Tallahassee.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be without Tyson Campbell for at least 4 weeks. The cornerback has been placed on injured reserve as he is currently dealing with a hamstring injury. Jaguars getting ready to host Cleveland on Sunday as Jacksonville looks for their first win of the season. The Buccaneers play at Detroit. NFL football last night. The Miami Dolphins lose to the Buffalo Bills by a 31-10 score. Adding injury to insult, quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, he had to leave the game early because of a concussion. Dolphins are back at it next Sunday when they play at Seattle. That's on September 22nd. This Sports Flash is brought to you by Fulmar's Pawn, Gun, and Gold. More than you might expect with 2 great locations in Tallahassee. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Right now at Macy's, it's the perfect time to start looking ahead to fall. Shop all the on-trend wardrobe updates you can wear now and keep wearing later, like flowy full-length dresses and easy lightweight layers like blazers, cardigans, and jackets. And Macy's has great deals on fall updates for every room in your home, like warm bedding and kitchen essentials. Plus, download the app for exclusive savings, inspiration, and more today at Macy's.
Welcome to Staples. Hi, I need a printer for the office.
Staples has the best brands like HP.
Well, I have some demands. Oh. Burton Sales demands it be fast.
HP's Office Jet Pro is super fast.
Megan Marketing demands colored prints.
Check.
And Kurt the Controller demands I don't overpay.
With Staples Hot Deals, you get up to 40% off select HP printers.
Oh, great. My job can be...
demanding?
I was going to say a lot of fun.
Right now at Staples, save up to 40% on select HP printers, America's most trusted printer brand.
Football. Well, it may not be living up to our expectations yet, so I'm going to try to give you something to look forward to. Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. This month, we asked Nissan for a lift on 2 of our best vehicles, and as usual, they answered, so listen to this. 2024 Titan trucks have 0% financing for 60 months, plus each and every Titan on our lot is now marked down $5,000. Plus, Titan has America's best warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. Or if you're interested in an SUV with $2,000 bonus cash and $1,500 loyalty cash on the Nissan Armada, you can save up to $5,000 on each and every Armada on our lot and get 3.9% financing for 60 months. Or just like last month, we can put you into a brand new Nissan Sentra starting at $420 a month, no money down. Some of the best deals of the year on some of Tallahassee's favorite vehicles. Come see us today at Kraft Nissan. Remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Howdy, folks. Jeff Cameron here to tell you about my friends at Dexafit Tallahassee. What is Dexafit, you might ask? Well, it's where you want to go if you're looking to elevate your health and fitness journey. Dexafit's exclusive services include AI-enhanced body scans, VO2 max fit testing, and RMR metabolism analysis to provide detailed insights into your body composition, cardiovascular fitness, and metabolic well-being. Sounds like a lot of science, but that's because it is. The most advanced science available. In fact, that's a good thing, right? Dexafit gives you immediate detailed insights about your body composition, provides a customized plan to improve on troubled areas delivered in an easy-to-navigate mobile app so you can share the information with your trainer or even your doctor to find the most direct path to your peak health. Check out Dexafit Tallahassee, the most accurate and most state-of-the-art body composition scanning and fitness planning available. Located on Capitol Circle Northeast, directly next to Bumpus. Check them out online at Dexafit.com and tell them Jeff Cameron sent you. Dexafit Tallahassee. Know your body and transform your life.
Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My mom, who's up 3 out the gates. Mom's up 3 out the gates. She joins us at the bottom of the hour to see if she can extend the lead. She is the reigning champion in our picks segment. I went a long time without being challenged, and now it seems I'm left in the wake of Mom's dominance. We'll see. I took a flyer on a few last week that didn't work out. It's so early in the season, I figured I had time.
You had 7 different last week. It was a fireworks show.
Hour number 2, Jeff. Guess where my oldest is going tonight? My favorite city, El Paso, Texas. Why? What's he doing in El Paso? Is he picking up drugs?
That's how you get to Juarez.
What are we doing here? We'll see. I don't know where. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'll take advantage of Mom in this matchup. Here's why. She'll take the Bucks today. She'll take the Bucks, and the Bucks are going to be without 3 starters in the secondary. We're going to go. We're going to go with the Lions, and that'll be a makeup right there.
It was confirmed today. Hope you're listening. Hope you're listening right now, Janie. But it was confirmed today.
She may not be, and I'm not going to tell her.
Luke Gedeke, right tackle, out.
That
Antoine
sucks.
Winfield, out. And a couple other members of the secondary.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's a problem. Did you see this story? I wanted to bring this up because I've never heard of anything like this, but also I think it has, like for this person anyhow, larger ramifications in their life, the sports world bleeding over into the real world. So I'm sure by now you saw this maybe in passing or heard about it. But the Twins have a minor league catcher named Derek Bender. All right. And he was a 6th round pick. So that's relatively high. You know, that's not like way down the list there. And I think they invested in him to the tune of $225, $250 million. I think I read that in one of the stories. I mean, not millions. Excuse me. That'd be crazy. $250,000. So not nothing, right? He has been released. Yesterday, he was released. You might say, why are we talking about this? Well, here's why. He was telling opposing hitters which pitch was coming. He was the 6th round selection in this past year's MLB draft out of Coastal Carolina, played for the Twins single-A affiliate in Fort Myers, Florida. They're known as the Mighty Muscles. They play in the Florida State League. They were eliminated from playoff consideration with a second-half record of 35-25. They had a first-half record of 31-34. Okay, well, whatever. So they squandered a 6-game division lead during the season's final 3 weeks. May raise an eyebrow there, especially when you find this out. Following the game, now this is interesting. Following the game, Lakeland coaches informed the Fort Myers coaches that Bender was telling the hitters what was going on.
That's not what you do.
The Flying Tigers out of Lakeland, no indications that the Flying Tigers batters were aware of Bender's intentions, nor were there attempts to steal signs or any such actions. The catcher apparently told teammates when asked, well, I wanted the season to end. He didn't want to make the playoffs.
Whoa.
He was worried they were going to make the playoffs. He wanted the season to end, so he was telling people what was coming.
Oh, my God.
So here's the thing, man. He lit it up at Coastal Carolina. In 3 years there, he hit 326 with a 979 ops, 22 doubles, 32 home runs, 153 RBIs.
Well, he wanted those seasons to continue.
He cared about those seasons. So here's what there's more to this story, but that's the gist of it, right? I don't want to carry this on for too long. I've never heard of Derek Bender. I do know who Derek Bender is now. I can't. Does Derek Bender, first of all, his career is over. His career is over. Nobody is ever going to pick you up again. Nobody. You just ruined your career. It is over. Grand opening, grand closing. That is it. That's all. They put him out in the bullpen for the last 2 games. They wouldn't let him in the dugout. And then
it's a fastball.
And then they released him.
Outer half.
They talked to the organization, the upper brass, about what to do. They said, well, we're releasing his sorry ass. That's what we're doing. So they cut him. But, man, dude, you're not – think about applying for a job. Tom, you've got experience. We used to hire interns and even permanent employees.
Yeah.
And you would have to interview them. And eventually, if they went through this process, you'd be like, hey, I want you to meet this guy or this girl or whoever, tell me what you think. I've got an opinion. I just want to hear, like we would throw it off of each other and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But you would vet it thoroughly. You'd look at their resume and everything else. Yeah.
There were some ones that never made it to meet you.
Because you looked at their social media and you went, dude, I can't have this.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Well, you had a chick dancing on the bar. You had all this stuff. You're like, I can't hire you.
We did?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I laughed my ass off that day. You're like, well, I really like this girl, but
really?
Social media page is shaky.
Oh, man, I wonder what year that was.
Shaky.
Well, when you have as much hijinks as there was behind the scenes at the 4-letter, you forget these
There's
things.
a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
I just remember laughing because you're like, man, I really thought she interviewed well. I was going to have her back for a second interview, but I just did a quick cursory glance at her social media and went, we're done. Kids got to be careful.
It would have been more than that, though. It would have had to have been, yeah.
Well, it was juicy. I'm not going to get into details here.
Yeah.
It was juicy.
I was like, hey, man, listen. Okay, good. I'm glad that wasn't that.
No, we're not going to air all that, but it was, you were kind of like,
oh, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, yeah, buddy. It was hilarious. You walked in the studio and you're like, can you believe this? Because we were joking about like the mistakes we would have made.
Oh, 100%
in social media.
Which is why I would think I'd be a little bit more lenient.
No, you were not. You were not lenient.
It must have been something.
You were done.
It was a paid position too, I imagine.
Yes, and you were done.
Okay.
You were done.
Fair.
As soon as you saw it, you're like, well, we're done here. This is unfortunate.
20-year-old me was quick to make decisions like that.
But also, I think you ended up telling her like, hey, do yourself a favor. Like this is gonna cause you problems.
Boy, I can't wait till the next break. I want to hear this.
Yeah, I can give you specifics. Anyhow, that said, my man, you're done. You're like,
ain't no way.
Who in the world is hiring a guy that does that?
The DMV.
Can't trust him at the DMV.
Sure you can. I want the shift to be over. Everybody does.
Everybody does, buddy.
Everybody does.
No, but you're that kind of guy. I can't trust you with anything, any sort of information, any conversation we have in the break room. I can't trust you with anything. You're out here telling opposing teams what's coming. That's who you are. That's your character, Derek. That's who the hell you are.
There's no competition for the DMV, though, so he can't tell the competition something juicy.
There aren't too many stories like that in the history of us being on the air. Where a guy is good enough to get drafted in baseball in the 6th round. That's early. You got paid pretty well. Had great career numbers there, is in the Twins organization, any Major League Baseball organization, and your career is over? Buddy,
we get mad when golfers, for example, say because the Ryder Cup doesn't pay that they feel like it's a burden.
Well, it's a bad look, yes.
But that's not them intentionally shooting 84 so they're not a captain's pick, Like or I was hoping we could end this thing by Saturday. That's why I tanked my all-shot match. That's the level this is going to.
It's a crazy story. I was shocked when I read that story. Imagine that phone call from the opposing team, that manager. Hey, Tom, Rick over here with the Lakeland squad. Oh, hey, Rick, how are you?
We just played you guys.
Yeah. About that. What do you think about your guy, Derek catcher?
Calls a good game.
Yeah, you may want to look into any video footage you have, Tom, about your boy Derek. Guys were coming back in the clubhouse after hitting some balls 470 feet.
You know what I know now? Is that whoever the umpires were, I can trust them with my life. How could the home plate umpire not know what's going on?
It's really odd. It's really odd. I did think of Bull Durham, Life Spectator, because of the moment where he says, where he tells them that the fastball is coming in. When you speak of, you speak well. But that's because this guy's grandstanding. He keeps shaking him off, and there you go. That's
that was a one-pitch lesson.
It's also a lesson being taught to his pitcher. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. And then he yells at the guy for standing. He goes, "I give you a gift, and you show him up. Get out of here, dummy." No, it's a great movie, but man, like, imagine the thought process that goes through one's head about, I'm going to start telling these guys the pitches. I don't want to be. It's hot. I'm burning up out here. Have you ever worn catcher's equipment? I think you're in the wrong profession, sir.
MILB.com for the minor leagues. I want to look up these umpires' names, these home plate umpires from the Lakeland whoever game. I don't know what team he's on, the Twins affiliate. You said it before, but
the Mighty Muscles.
The Mighty Muscles. So Mighty Muscles versus Lakeland. Okay. I want to see who home plate umpire is. Because I'm just going to tell him everything. My deepest, darkest worries. Because that guy, solid as a rock.
I've never read a story like that. And all I could think of, I wrote a note here that I can't even show you on the screen because it's got a curse word in it. But that note to me was that, like,
you show it on the screen as long as you don't verbalize it.
Well, all I did was write that. To remind myself.
We're going to screen grab that. Hopefully not for our own reasons Saturday afternoon.
That's what I wrote. I mean,
if Lagway has a setback, then we could grab that. Here's Florida. I appreciate the cursive too.
I kind of
appears to be.
I write in a sort of
hybrid.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. That's how I write. I write in hybrid block lettering and cursive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the L appears to be right, like the L long.
Yeah.
There it is.
Sorry.
Oh, that's just crazy.
For you audio audience, you can get it. It says he's screwed, is what it says.
It basically does. It basically says he is absolutely screwed. But that's what I wrote on I have my notes. I want to get the things. A lot of times I'll have an outline of maybe the talking points. That's all I wrote on that one. I think that's all we need for this story, guys. That dude's done.
I'm telling you, that is a screen grab. I mean,
yeah,
that's
go grab
awesome.
it. Yeah,
fantastic.
Unbelievable. Go get a DEXA scan, guys. Find out whether or not you're in good shape, how good a shape, or worse yet, how bad a shape, and do something about it. It's the gold standard in clinical diagnosis, the best method that can determine everything from bone density and direct measurements of visceral fat. That's what a DEXA scan does for you. It lets you know the good, the bad, and everything in between. It's good. Use Jeff25 discount code for 25% off any of the services at DexaFit. You get these results immediately. You learn about what you want to work on. They'll give you some exercises to help and incorporate in your current workout regimen if you have one. If not, then you can take on these suggestions, certainly, and add them to your future workout regimen. But they have red light therapy there. They do the VO2 max testing as well. So many great things at DexaFit here in Tallahassee. I'm glad one finally got here. There's one over in Jacksonville. I knew they had them in South Florida. Now we got them here in Tallahassee.
Quick question for you after the read.
Jeff25 discount code for 25% off any services at DexaFit. Go ahead.
Did your dad refer to cursive as cursive, or did he call it script?
Cursive. He referred to it as cursive.
My dad is
called it as script.
That is called script. He's like, what is this? It's script. It's called script, not cursive.
Listen. You should. There was a good band out of Omaha called Cursive, by the way. Just as an aside, I would also tell you that my dad's penmanship is the greatest penmanship. It is akin to like Abraham Lincoln's or Jefferson's. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. The reason I asked is because your father and mine are 22 days apart on this earth.
Right.
My dad can do two types: beautiful calligraphy style script, as he would say, if you're listening, Dad. Or block lettering, all caps.
Oh, that's also gorgeous.
Because he's left-handed. And so it's got that little tilt to it.
My dad is not left-handed, and he incorporates the tilt to all of the cursive. It's gorgeous. And he gets mad when he sees other people's handwriting that isn't up to standard. He doesn't say anything, but he'll look at me like, look at this sloppy ass.
Note to self, never send him a Christmas card.
I mean, he would be disgusted. What is wrong with you? Take some pride in your lettering. He got mad at me when I was a little kid when I would color. I was coloring, I used to love to color like every little kid does. I'd get a coloring book, and it would be like a superhero coloring book.
Yeah.
If I used the wrong color for the superhero, like if I made Aquaman red instead of yellow or whatever, like, what are you doing? Aquaman's not red. Don't do that. But then not only that, he was like, stop coloring outside the lines. You went outside the lines. Why would you go outside? There's nothing there. That's not a thing. This is the person. You've got to color the person.
Right,
and the grain needs to go one way.
Yeah, that
which
was
is
okay.
insane.
The shading. No,
The shading
okay, I heard
goes
about
one
that
way.
too.
Yeah.
Because all the girls typically took greater pride in these details.
Oh,
in
absolutely.
elementary
Girls
school.
do. Yeah.
They would, in the coloring book, always do the hard crayon outline and then color in. So you already have the black line outline. Why you have to go with the hard crayon color so it's dark and then
Right,
you shade?
yeah, yeah.
That the teachers always elevated those to the perfect, which was ridiculous. And my dad agreed. He said, you shade. Look, you just shade.
Yeah.
You don't need to do the outline.
Right.
You have one. That's what the lines are for. Just shade it.
Both our dads were in the Army.
That's
if you couldn't figure it out, everybody,
correct.
both of our dads were in the Army.
Sharpened number 2 pencils.
It's also why when I go to my dad's house and visit, I purposely lay my shoes willy-nilly anywhere I want around the house. I move his little pencil jar near the computer and shift it to the other side. I tilt picture frames ever so slightly.
That's why you did it to Millar, because you're getting back at your dad.
Oh, yeah. I leave socks in places they don't belong. That's a killer. Whose sock is this? Why is there a sock in the kitchen? Oh, it's the best. Jeff, is this your sock?
That's why, yeah. My dad really prefers that the decibel level of his radio is at a certain level.
Yeah, so you crank it up?
Well, that was my favorite thing. The second
Famously
row,
in the car, you did it, yeah.
the second row of the van had a volume control for the master volume. Made no sense. So the kids have a shot.
Should never happen. That's a poorly designed
And
feature.
a seek button, which I would never touch, but you would just subtly change it. And he'd be talking to my mother. He goes, why is this damn thing so loud? And he'd turn it down. And for years, I got him.
Oh, I'm shifting everything. Picture frames, rulers. Who's even using a ruler anymore? My dad, that's who. All right, Mom, it's time for you and I to wager. We'll do it next. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Imagine for a moment that you are completely weightless in zero gravity. All of the weight and worry of life is melted away, and you fall into a state of profound relaxation. This is what you'll find at Tallulah CBD Mushrooms THC in Railroad Square when you try out their state-of-the-art floating pods. While you're there, shop for the best quality CBD, mushrooms, THC, and kava products available. Shop Tallulah today with 6 locations in Tallahassee and the Kava Bar Lounge in Bannerman Crossing. Online at TallulahSmokes.com.
Your AC unit decides to give up the ghost. It doesn't always pick the best time. But no matter what time, day or night, or day of the week, you can call E&B Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll be out to bring your AC unit back to life. We've been repairing and replacing heating and air conditioning systems in the North Florida and South Georgia area since 1974. So when your air conditioner stops working, call E&B Heating and Air Conditioning to the rescue.
Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those dark leaks. Call 850-766-134. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark. T-Spark.com.
License number CCC 1331204. Pinch a Penny Pools has the largest selection of premium hot springs hot tubs in the city. You might even call it Tallahassee's Hot Tub Hub. 12,000 square feet of hot tubs, with over 50 of them on site. Over 20,000 gallons of tub capacity to choose from. That's 4,620,000 cubic inches of hot tubs. But I digress. So why should you own a hot tub from Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, you might ask? Well, I'll tell you. Number 1. Health benefits, of course. The healing powers of soaking in a hot bubbling pool of water go back centuries. Google it. Number 2, Pinch a Penny has hot tubs with technology called Freshwater IQ. It gives you real-time chemical readings and tells you exactly what to add to keep the water at peak perfection. With automated analysis to help you control the chlorine and pH. It's hot tubs for dummies. Sign me up. Number 3, they have the best prices, of course. Plus you get a free accessory and no interest financing. Easy peasy. But if you don't want to take my word for it, check them out yourself. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas. Locally owned, locally operated, and the easiest way to find relaxation at home.
You might wonder, John Legend, How do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, is recommended by the CDC.
Fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Well, on Libations Friday, about time to make some picks, right? We've got to get started with Mother, who's up a robust 3 after 1 week. Wow. Let's cue it up, Tommy. Let's do this thing.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick. Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, Mama, you were victorious last weekend, last Sunday, and I don't know about last night. Who did you take?
It looks to me like we both had Miami. I tell you what, and I said, boy, because they weren't playing good even before Tua went out.
Oh, no, they were getting housed.
Oh, my God. But I'm going to tell you right now, that poor soul that they put in there afterwards, Skylar Thompson or whatever his name is, holy moly, he was terrible. They better, if that's the only thing they have, if Tua's going to be out for a while, they better start looking.
I think Tua's career is over.
What?
I think Tua's career is over.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's had so many concussions. That may be a blessing. And you know what? I don't understand why he didn't slide. Going into crashing into somebody, that's not a good idea.
Well, he's down around the goal line. He's trying to make a play, but he didn't even get hit in the head. This is just like the stuff that happens to guys, I think, who've had a bunch of concussions. He's brittle. I hate it for him. He was playing terribly, though. He was awful. He was as bad as Skylar Thompson. By the way,
he had thrown 2 interceptions.
3.
Yeah. Oh, 3 was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it wasn't. It wasn't good. It was not going well.
One of those was a pick 6. I made fun of Miami before that game, even though I picked them. I mentioned that the Bills had won 11 of 12, now 12 of 13 over Miami. They own Miami in a way that is almost unspeakable. It's embarrassing.
I know.
Throttle them.
One of the reasons I thought maybe Miami, playing
right.
Miami and as hot as hell, I thought, God, surely it's their time.
Well, I just thought they'd play with a lot of desperation on a short week at home. They've got to have that win in the division because everything runs through Buffalo right now. They're probably tired of being told that Buffalo is, their daddy. And here we are. This is, and then this happens, and they were getting blown out. It wouldn't have mattered if Tua played the rest of the game or not. It's something to behold. All right, so we both lose that one.
Yes, we did. Okay.
Now, onward we move. We've got the Raiders at the Ravens.
The Raiders at the Ravens. Yeah, I've got the Ravens.
Of course you do. We have the Chargers at the Panthers.
I have the Chargers.
Me too. Not the only Alabama quarterback that can't play. The other one is with the Carolina Panthers, who'll be out of the league in a couple of years. The Saints at the Cowboys.
I have the Cowboys. Now, I think that's going to be a really good game, but I've got Dallas.
Me too. Tampa Bay at Detroit.
Now, this hurts my heart, but I really think I got to pick Detroit because we've got some injuries, one of our big defensive guys and everything, and Detroit looks really formidable. So which I love Detroit when they're not playing us. But anyway, I took Detroit.
I did too, and I was really hoping you'd take the Bucks.
I know. Well, and I'd love to, but since I'm doing so well,
yeah, your personal feelings
head instead of my heart.
Colts at Packers.
Oh, Colts at Packers. I'm not picking the Packers as long as Jordan Love is out. Yeah, so I took the Colts.
I think I'm going to take the Packers. I think I'm going to take the Packers. I don't even know. Who's the backup for the Packers, Tom? Do you even know? It's sad. I don't even know.
It's a name
I
we
don't
should
know
know.
either.
They just traded for him.
Here we go. Siri, who's the backup for the Packers?
Who?
I'm talking to Siri, Mom.
Oh, Siri. Okay.
Malik Willis.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, no. Oh,
yeah, they just traded for him this
Oh,
offseason. Yeah.
okay. I changed my pick. I'm serious. I didn't know that. Nope, not doing that. Okay, I'll take the Colts. I'm with you, Mom. Sorry.
Right.
Changed it, Tom.
Who's the backup?
Malik Willis.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah,
I didn't know that, but I just knew that without Jordan, they probably weren't going to do well.
If they had anybody who was competent, I think they could beat the Colts, but we're not doing that. Browns at Jags.
Oh, Browns at Jags. I think I took Jackson. Yes, I did. Jacksonville.
San Francisco at Minnesota.
That is a really hard game, but I took Minnesota.
Good. I'll take San Francisco. There we go.
Okay, that's probably not a bad pick.
Seattle. Look at Mom is patronizing me over here. She's like, "Oh, good for you, honey. That's a pretty good pick, probably. Good. You might have got that one on me." Seahawks at Patriots.
Oh, I taken Seattle.
Me too. Jets at Titans.
I'm going to take the Jets. I think they're both not good, but I think they're better than Tennessee.
Jets might be good by season's end. I'll take the Jets as well. The Giants. Oh, goodness gracious. Avert your eyes, everybody. The Giants at Commanders.
Yeah, I took the Commanders.
Me too. The Rams at the Cardinals.
I took the Rams.
Steelers at the Broncos.
I took the Steelers.
Yeah, that's another.
A few games I lost last week, but the Steelers defense won that game. So, but Denver, who have they got now? Is that Russell Wilson?
No, he's in Pittsburgh, Mom, and he sat the bench last week in the favor of Fields.
Oh, okay, that's right. Well, anyway, I picked Pittsburgh. He was at Denver, though, right?
Yes, where he sucked.
Yeah.
We've got the Bengals and the Chiefs.
Oh, the Chiefs. Oh, yeah, I took Kansas City.
I'm tempted. I am really tempted to take Cincinnati.
Uh-huh.
They play the Chiefs exceptionally well, but I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Okay.
If I can get some points. I may do alternate spread on that game, Tommy, just so you know. I may get an alternate spread on that game. Bears, Texans.
Texans.
Yeah. And finally, Falcons at the Eagles.
The Eagles.
All right. So we've got one different, and you
the bird.
And you believe I made the right pick. All right, there you go.
I think that is probably a good pick because I argued with myself about San Francisco, but I think Minnesota is pretty darn good.
No, they're not.
They're not?
No, but they might. Hey, listen, I'm not going to say a thing. You're the reigning champ. If you feel strong about the Vikings, then go ahead and take the Vikings. You're probably going to win that game, and I'll be sitting here scratching my head how San Francisco went and lost to Sam Darnold.
Oh, my God. Listen, I was driving, I think, listening to that game coming home last Sunday, and Sam Darnold didn't miss a pass.
He was 14 of 15. His first, yes.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
I bet his mom was so proud. He was there. Look at my boy.
Yeah. By the way, Mom, just so you know, because I realized we didn't ever reveal the starting quarterback, but Denver's quarterback is rookie Bo Nix. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I do know that now, and I knew it was somebody new, and I think he's going to do good.
Well, he was terrible last week. It was one of the lowest rated passers in the entire league last week. He was awful.
Well, I know, but he's a rookie. Bless his heart. He's got to get his sea legs.
Yeah, no, it's true. All the rookies looked bad last week. They did. Every one of them looked terrible, including Williams over there in Chicago. They got lucky because Will Levis threw one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. Mama, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, I love you too. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see how I do.
All right, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, you like that pick, buddy.
I think that's the correct side to be on, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would have gone with Green Bay, but I can't do Malik Willis. That's
they just literally grabbed him a few weeks ago. I don't know. We'll see about the genius of the Green Bay succession plan. Maybe Jordan Love's a system quarterback. Maybe Malik can just step in there and do the same thing.
I don't know. I'm hopefully just chip away at it. Chip it away like the bricks that DJ throws off, and just chip it away, buddy.
So the alternate spread thing, they don't have the teaser range that DraftKings does. At
They
Hard
don't.
Rock.
Hard Rock's got to get it together.
They
man.
do. They only go about 3-4 points off of the number that they're providing.
Let's go, Hard Rock.
I was disappointed with that.
They also don't have as many player props as one would like. They have some player props, but not as many as I like.
They had Rashad White, 20.5 receiving yards. He had 80.
Well past that, right? Rashad White last year was less of a running back and more of a receiver.
Yeah, and made no sense.
That is a strange number. What is it this week? Did you look?
I haven't looked yet.
Let's take a look at that during the break. I think we should. By the way, speaking of looking at things, how about a video ad board free? That's right. They'll put it up right there in your bar, restaurant, dentist office, perhaps your community bank waiting room. We all love those. Maybe a car dealership. I'm talking about my friends at Tried and True Consulting. They're looking for businesses that are actively looking to utilize their wall space or have an existing television and want to generate revenue. That doesn't suck. Don and Joe are ready to help you and other local businesses. Let's get on this right now, folks. My friends at Tried and True Consulting, just Knowles helping Knowles out here, doing a good thing. Scan that QR code. You're good to go. If you don't have that, call this number, 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
An overnight shooting Wednesday in northwest Tallahassee left a man seriously injured, according to Tallahassee police. The incident unfolded a little after midnight in the 2500 block of West Tennessee Street. No arrests have been made. Officers responded to the scene and found a man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to a local hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. An investigation revealed that he and the suspect knew each other and engaged in an altercation before the shooting. The investigation is ongoing. A Bainbridge Middle School staff member is being treated after an accident during the morning arrival of students yesterday. On Wednesday, a staff member was directing traffic on College Street when a vehicle hit him. Decatur County Schools says his injuries were non-life-threatening. The staff member was checked by medical personnel and is receiving treatment for his injuries. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with a chance for storms. Highs around 81, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows around 73 tonight, slight chance for storms. Chance for storms tomorrow. Highs level off around 85, more clouds and sun. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 75.
Homeowners, this is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I want to talk to you today about consolidating your debt. Are you struggling with your monthly expenses? Consumer spending and overall debt are reaching all-time highs, while homeowners are sitting on trillions of dollars in untapped equity in their homes. Don't be afraid to walk away from that 2% mortgage while you're paying double-digit interest rates on credit cards and lines of credit and drowning in debt. Let's talk about how we can consolidate your debt, lower your overall monthly payments, and potentially save you thousands of dollars in the process. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. Again, 954-369-6171. This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I'm at 954-369-6171.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Sunday.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Baker Mayfield leads the Buccaneers into the Motor City for a clash with Jared Goff and the Lions.
Ball! Mike Evans with a guy draped all over him. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons, get him going. What a remarkable catch by Evans with a defender all over him.
Can the Pewter Pirates get some payback for last season's playoff loss? Pre-game at noon. Kickoff at 1. Right here on the Buccaneers Radio Network.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It's Jeff Cameron Show on a Libations Friday. We get a little loosey, a little goosey around here on a Friday. Kind of meander about town, all over the map.
Especially with 3 hours now.
It's just, how many ways can we dissect this sorry product so far through 2 games? I mean, Florida State at this point has to go out and play well and give us a reason to talk about something different, about something that perhaps feels a little bit more engaging and uplifting than what we've been able to talk about these last 2 weeks. Now, we've certainly vetted the process and everything that seems to be wrong with this team through these 2 games. But at some point, they got to play another game. This is what the week is for, is getting through. Kind of, it's cathartic, right? We just kind of talk it out. What happened? Why did it happen? What might happen moving forward? And then, we got to see the damn game and hope that something changes for this team. I don't want to overstate this. I really don't. Because I know there's a tendency to overstate the meaning of any one game in a person's career or a program. You get into program-changing moments. Most of the time, the program-changing moments are recognizable only in hindsight. Like a lot of times, you can first guess things, and we have before gotten it right on some, gotten it wrong on others, and been somewhere in between on quite a few as well. But this feels a little heavy to me, man. I think he's going to need to win a football game here this Saturday, and that it will feel a little bit more representative of more than just a win. Representative of more than just a win. What does it say about all that is wrong with the program and some of the mistakes that your head coach and other coaches have made if somehow you begin this season with 3 losses to Georgia Tech, Boston College, and Memphis? It's a terrible look. You're going to pay Memphis more than $1 million to come in and play this game.
Yeah, I think the main bad look of many bad looks is that the national spotlight was on you, not for anything that had to do with the snub. As one of the premier coaches in the sport, if you're on the short list for Alabama, and
he was,
either you travel out there for an interview or you have an interview or it gets to a place where perhaps the job was offered, and you leverage that situation, which again, personally, I was rooting for. You need more concessions for football. You get those concessions, not just a raise for yourself, but staff, the expansion of the football operation, perhaps commitment to commitment, if that makes sense, a certain level of commitment.
Right.
And it's in writing, or at least an agreement, to where resources are coming your way at a brand new level. And then the first thing you do with all of those resources and all of that money and all the support staff is you lay a hat trick worth of eggs. Come on, man. That is the worst part of it to me. Now, nationally, you could point at other things, but to me, you just got more resources, fewer excuses to have things like this happen. And that's the moment that you drop the ball in the biggest way. So hopefully we're still favored for a reason. Somehow, some way, the Sharps, maybe they don't learn. I think they do. But we're still favored for a reason, and I think it's because of potential physical advantages near the football, at the point of attack. But I said that the first 2 weeks, and we didn't care to do any of the things necessary to win in those situations. They got to go out there and care tomorrow, and that's on him. That's on him to get them to feel that way and play that way.
I just know when you take the emotion out of it, Tom, and if we were looking at any other high-profile coach at any other high-profile school, one that has the kind of cachet that Florida State brings to the table, the ratings, the history, all of it, right? If a coach at another school were to lose 3 games in a row in which they were double-digit favorites or heavily favored, and they were the likes of, BC, Georgia Tech, and Memphis, we would have certain declaratory statements, definitive statements we'd be making about who that coach is and what that represents. And I don't want that to be true. I don't want that to be the case. But it would speak to something much greater than just 3 football losses. It would speak to some serious problems with the process and with analysis and evaluation, with staff, with recruiting, with almost every facet of what a program is. You'd be looking and second guessing an awful lot of what your head coach in this situation, because the buck stops always with the head coach, what he was doing to arrive at this place. We would. If this were Alabama or Georgia, let Kirby fool around and lose 3 straight games to the likes of BC and Memphis and Georgia Tech. We'd be like, time's up. I mean, Great coaches don't do that. That's what we'd be saying. And I think Mike is a good coach, clearly, but boy, it's incredibly damning if it happens. Maybe it turns it around. Maybe Florida State goes out and wins on Saturday. I'm picking them to win. Say they go and win the game Saturday, and at the end of this year, we're looking at it seems unlikely, but we're looking at a 9-3 team or an 8-4 team. All right, we'd say bump in the road. Just the evidence you needed to make some changes.
Right. Yeah, that wouldn't change.
Yeah. No matter what, he could win 10 straight, Tom. He's got to make some changes. He's got to re-examine the process. He's got to re-examine every facet of his program. You should do that every year anyhow, but it's a little bit easier to see them when there are some warts to point out.
Well, that's the thing for me is what's coming here, what's already had to have started after 0-2. Because you might go into the Boston College game saying, it was the last possession, tweak a couple of things about our process, and it's right there. It's right there for us. But the BC one, there's a reason the look on his face in the sideline for BC is different than it is in Dublin. It's like, oh, this isn't small. This wasn't an isolated incident, one bad day. This is a thing. And now I've got to fix that thing.
Yeah.
Micromanager Mike, if he was sleeping, he is born again. And again, that's not about work ethic or the amount of hours he's putting in.
No, he's never been lazy, and he's never going to be lazy. It's not in his DNA.
He builds an organization. There's redundancies typically, but he builds an organization, and then he does his job and he empowers others to do their own. But one good sign of an excellent leader is they empower them in the first place to do their own job, but if they're not, then they have to micromanage. And I believe that's what has to happen here moving forward, more than just the diagnosis of what's going on. I'm going to have to get in that room and fix it myself or weigh in heavily and hover. I mean, that's any walk of life, any job. If you're not cutting it, what was that noise?
That's the chair. I want to turn it.
Sounded like a small child.
Oh, no. Screaming in here? Yeah. No.
Any walk of life, if you're not performing.
It was the sound of this fan base.
Life sucks. It was, yes.
Gasping.
The final exhale. So we'll see if he does.
Mark, I want to talk about this, and I will. You just pointed it out. It's interesting to see, at this point, Florida State asking for summary judgment might mean something of interest. And, Tom, I don't know. You want to vet this now? You have a lawyer buddy. I've got a lawyer buddy. We've had lawyer buddies that we've had on the show.
Yeah.
Do we want to go that route? Do we want to take a break after and get into it in the third hour a little bit?
We've got time to do it either. Well, that's the beauty of having the third hour.
Yeah.
So we've got about 10 minutes on this side to do it, or we can wait to the next hour. But my people think
they think it might not be nothing. It might be something.
Yeah.
Might be a big step. And that you wouldn't do it unless you were positioning yourself or believe that you were coming from a position of strength.
Correct. That
you wouldn't ask for that if you didn't think that you were coming from a position of strength.
And regardless if that's true or not, if you're bluffing or whatever, I mean, you're turning the screws. You are looking for the end game. You are looking to begin that process.
Well, you notice this seems to coincide with some of the buzz that I referenced earlier in the week.
Yeah, strange. It's an interesting set of circumstances that you would have a president's meeting run long and then this particular thing.
Well, a bunch of things that were just out there kind of being bantied about that led me to bring this up on the air. This is why I said, was it yesterday's show or Wednesday's show? I can't remember. They all bleed together sometimes when you're 0-2. Anyhow, the point would be, I said, look, I normally ignore some of these things if there isn't something meaty on the bone, if there doesn't seem to be something of substance to it, at least in terms of the whispers being generated again around a subject that had been largely dormant for some time. Part of that was that I said we stirred up the muck at the bottom of the barrel the second you saw the Pac-12 make a move, because that, by definition, starts the merry-go-round, man. The game of musical chairs has happened again. A major conference decided to raid another conference and steal their teams. Now, typically, that starts the ball rolling a little bit. Other people begin to say, oh, we're doing this again. Time to be proactive.
Yeah.
Time to protect ourselves, whatever it might be. You know that immediately there was an article written about should the ACC now be concerned. Based on what the Pac-12 did yesterday, I read no fewer than 6 articles on is the ACC in trouble on the heels of the Pac-12 invading the Mountain West.
Right.
That's why I said, I don't know if it's anything or not. I'm not telling you that something's coming. I am telling you that people who cover this and talk about this in the past have reached out to me to say, hey, pay attention. Seems like something may be brewing. Maybe, can't get specific. Something seems to be in the air.
Well, the whole thing is, you go back to last year when Florida State went public with, this is towards the end when they made the decision, the revelation that there was a 9-year re-up for ESPN. That was a revelation. We didn't know that.
That's right.
We thought it was a through line to 2036, and there wasn't an option for ESPN to say yay or nay, and with a 2-year lead time, right? So that's where we are now. And in a sense, if you're operating as an institution like Florida State, they may not want to continue ESPN for 9 years. So why would I have to pay the penalty for 9 years that I don't even know we're committed to as a conference?
Right.
Which would reduce the number that you're trying to pay. And I would think if the ACC is afraid of an exodus, they would be looking at that particular point, which is, what do I owe? If I'm, let's just say Cal wanted to leave and go to the Pac-12 or Stanford did. What if they said, well, I only owe a couple of years because we don't even have a guarantee on a contract for the next 9. So tell me what the number is for 2 years of us leaving, or we're going to start in 26 when they need to have it. So that's 2026. 27 is when the new deal would kick in. So I owe you 1 year of a grant of rights payment. What's it going to be? That would scare the hell out of the ACC to me, because ESPN hasn't picked up the phone and said, hey, we're in.
Well, some of the rumor mill that I was referencing were to state, or were at least speculating about, is ESPN opting in, back in, extending, or opting out? Might that be what these meetings are about? Why university presidents are meeting into the night? Is there something coming down the pike from ESPN involving the look-in period? The vulnerability the ACC had to deal with its February 2025 look-in period with ESPN, right? Regarding the league's television contract.
Yeah.
In Florida State's initial filing in 2023, here in the state of Florida, the school said that ESPN's media rights contract with the ACC actually extends to only 2027, right? Now, we've documented this. I'm just rehashing this for people.
Correct.
Rather than 2036. ESPN had to decide originally by 2021 whether to extend it to 2036. In the same filing, FSU alleged that Jim Phillips extended the 21 deadline to 25 without approval.
Right.
Without approval from 2/3 of the league's membership.
Nor any apparent concessions, which is also a way that you can prove that it was in bad faith. You know, if the league got an extra, like, let's just say every institution got an extra $5 million for every year that ESPN delays its decision, at least there'd be a trade. There was no trade. It's like, oh, take your time. I'm in no rush. Take your time.
Now, the ACC, the people that are pro-ACC, the Jim Phillips of the world and others, have maintained in Charlotte when we were there, and other outlets when they were interviewed, that the look-in, the ACC, the league's look-in to the media deal really was more about stuff on the margins. It was for them to be able to advocate for better time slots for their games, for example, for ACC games. More visibility. They wanted more visibility for ACC teams on ESPN's main networks. But by the way, that's not happening. That's currently not happening.
You'd get less visibility at this point, not more.
So they also said, Jim Phillips referenced the fact that, hey, I know you guys are hung up on this and you keep asking me about it, about what, why hasn't ESPN announced this yet? But honestly, we love our partners at ESPN, and really under the current contract, really the discussions have only been about trying to maximize revenue and finding more revenue streams for this great league. Everybody side rolled their eyes and said, get the hell out of here with that nonsense.
You want a little Occam's razor?
Sure.
Maybe we look back at this and we say ESPN wanted to delay 4 years to see if they would actually secure the SEC contract, the one that they are executing now.
Yes.
Because they had to get in a bidding war with CBS in order to come through with the SEC contract as they have it now for the 3:30 window, the 7 o'clock window, and all that. You could look at it and say ESPN delayed because they didn't know what assets they would own that are more valuable. And so they wanted some time to sort through all the things that they would acquire. And that's why they needed more time to decide on what they were going to do with the ACC. Maybe a couple of years from now, that's how we look back at it. The reason they needed a delay from the ACC, and Jim Phillips was all too happy to give it to him, Much like SMU, I'll play for free.
Free.
Sure, take your time. I want to feel committed too.
Yeah, they're going to argue and have argued that there would be no reason for ESPN to remove or get rid of the current deal with the ACC because they have the ACC's television inventory, and those are assets, and it's a locked-in deal at a below-market value. So why would they do it?
Yeah, because they're bleeding money in a lot of departments.
That's a good retort.
And they want to pick their best and stick with their best because they're trying to invest in other things that'll make them more money than an ACC football slate, especially if they can get that 9th conference game from the SEC. Well, I've just covered those windows all the more.
This is the stronger argument, in my opinion, Tom, and it's that they would, and it wouldn't be beneath them to do this, opt for a shortened ACC deal. I'm trying to think about
what, 2030?
Well, no, the shortened ACC deal, so that that ends in 2027, so that they could say to Clemson and Florida State, "Hold tight. We're putting you in the SEC.
Look,
we're going to put you in the SEC the same way we did Oklahoma and Texas. We're going to add you there because we don't want Fox to get you. We don't want the Big Ten to get you. We're going to add you to the SEC."
It could be below market value, but they still have to pay enough for Syracuse and Boston College and Wake Forest and Duke to exist, in terms of the television. It's still money that they could spend elsewhere for any number of institutions.
There are plenty of people sweating their ass off at the ACC because if there is an out of any kind and a number is given, North Carolina and Miami would peace out. And they prefer the Big Ten, so we'll see. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV.
And Lawson Electrical Services has been Tallahassee's preferred residential electrician for over 30 years. Hi, this is Rowdy Lawson, and we've earned our reputation because we care about our customers, about quality, and about providing great service. We stand by every job we do and consider it a privilege to work on a family project like a new house, a custom addition, or a green renovation. For all your residential or service projects, call the good guys, Lawson and Lawson Electrical Services, 562-4111.
Every journey starts with a first step, a daring step. But what they don't say about first steps is that you have to keep going, taking step after step, and eventually you take a big leap, accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. After 57 years, Tallahassee Community College is soaring even higher, and we're now officially Tallahassee State College. We invite you to take a step and visit Tallahassee State College. Learn more at tsc.fl.edu.
Your friendly neighborhood bar and grill just got a whole lot closer to home. You can now order delicious Smitty's Tap House and Grill for delivery directly to your doorstep. Just visit Smitty'sTapHouse.com, click the Order Online button, and choose pickup or delivery. Enjoy Smitty's famous handmade pretzel with beer cheese, juicy pub burger, or even the amazing schnitzel sandwich, delivered fresh right to your doorstep. Support local and order online today for takeout or delivery at Smitty'sTapHouse.com, where everybody knows his name.
This announcement is brought to you by Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey.
If you're driving right now, you should know there's an 80% chance that the cars all around you don't carry any bodily injury insurance. Most people don't realize it, but in Florida, all the law requires is that drivers carry property damage insurance. This means that the texting teen drifting over into your lane or the drag racer on your rear bumper have no way of compensating you or your loved ones when they cause a crash. And this should scare the hell out of you. Fortunately, there's an easy way to protect your family from this, and it's called uninsured motorist coverage. It's an absolute must, but a lot of insurance companies are convincing folks to drop it just to save a few dollars. Take it from the personal injury experts. Don't. At Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey, we've recovered millions of dollars in uninsured motorist coverage in crashes where our clients would have otherwise received nothing. So please, call your agent right now and make sure you have uninsured motorist coverage on your policy. We hope you'll never need it, but we'll be here for you if you ever do. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Don't settle for less.
Searching for the best place to spend time outdoors this spring and summer? The Golf Club at Summerbrook has all the amenities you and your family need. Purchase a family pool membership this season and enjoy the most luxurious and relaxing resort-style pool in the entire city with a 6,000 square foot deck, covered pavilion, and poolside drink and food service. You'll feel like you're on vacation. Reserve your pool membership today. Visit the Golf Club at Summerbrook.com or call 850-894-GOLF. That's 894-GOLF.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Greater Tallahassee. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas. Brought to you by Palmar's Pawn, Gun and Gold. More than you might expect with two great locations in Tallahassee.
It's the home opener for the Jaguars at Everbank Stadium on Sunday as the Jaguars host the Cleveland Browns. Jacksonville, the 3-point favorite, 41.5 the total. Florida Gators hosting Texas A&M at the Swamp tomorrow. The Aggies have been bet from a 4.5 down to a 3-point favorite. The total down from 49 to 46.5. Graham Mertz expected to play tomorrow for Florida, as well as DJ Lagway. He threw for 456 yards and went over Samford last week. Florida State laying 7 at home with the Memphis Tigers, a total 55 at Doak Campbell Stadium Saturday. Bundle and save with Progressive. Progressive.com. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachia Parkway.
Football. Well, it may not be living up to our expectations yet, so I'm going to try to give you something to look forward to. Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. This month, we asked Nissan for a lift on 2 of our best vehicles, and as usual, they answered. So listen to this. 2024 Titan trucks have 0% financing for 60 months, plus each and every Titan on our lot is now marked down $5,000. Plus, Titan has America's best warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. Or if you're interested in an SUV with $2,000 bonus cash and $1,500 loyalty cash on the Nissan Armada, you can save up to $5,000 on each and every Armada on our lot and get 3.9% financing for 60 months. Or just like last month, we can put you into a brand new Nissan Sentra starting at $420 a month, no money down. Some of the best deals of the year on some of Tallahassee's favorite vehicles. Come see us today at Kraft Nissan. Remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Time to head out on our annual guys fishing trip. Wait, where's Jimmy?
He just texted me saying he has to swing by his storage unit to get a couple of things. And now there's a truck blocking him in, and he won't be here for another hour.
That wouldn't have happened if he had just called Southeast Portable Buildings and got a unit right on his property.
I love mine. I have so much more space in my garage. Now I can finally park my truck in there.
Give them a call today, 850-580-6400. That's 850-580-6400, or visit them online for all their options at southeastportablebuildings.com.
It's Capital City. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Time listening to the Jeff Cameron Show on 93.3 Real Talk Radio and also on YouTube, Warchant TV specifically. Thank you so much for that as well. We got to adjust the TV in the back there, Tommy. Got the 1 to 3 p.m. prominently displayed. Got to make that a 1 to 4 p.m. We've taken the plunge back to 3 hours.
As I've said, 1 Eastern to 3 Central, just listed that way. Mess with people.
I was looking at some numbers during the break that had to do with baseball. Won't stick on it long. We'll talk football. But did you realize the kind of the depth of the kind of slump that Judge is in right now?
You know, I am aware of little to nothing about the American League because I'm so invested for once in a pennant or in a wild card race. Not a pennant race. That's too much, but yeah.
Everybody goes through slumps, so a lot of times I just ignore them. You know, superstars do too. They're not immune to them. But he has not hit a home run since he hit a home run on August 25th against the Rockies. So there have been 16 games played by the Yankees in which Aaron Judge did not hit a home run. Now, the problem isn't that he didn't hit a home run. It's that in those 16 games, he's hitting a cool 207 with the following slash line, 352, 359.
Wow.
Ooh. They are in that stretch of games playing 500 baseball. Now, you could say everybody goes through terrible slumps. Remember the way the year started for Aaron Judge. He was hitting 178 with 4 home runs in his first 27 games this year. And everybody went, what the hell's going on with Aaron Judge? This I didn't know until I looked it up today. He responded to that early season slump by hitting in a way that I guess would elicit memories of Barry Bonds through a 102-game stretch. He hit 377, 506, 944. That's the slash line with 47 home runs, 109 RBIs, and 86 walks in that 102-game stretch. That was better than Barry Bonds in his prime. Barry's got some numbers that are staggering to this day, and people have fun with looking back at those numbers and going, how? What? But that stretch is what Judge did in response to the first 27 games of the year where he was not good. We'll see what he does, but man, it's a pretty long stretch. It is the longest homerless streak of his career. You got to go back to 2017 to find one that's even close. Really would be a shame if he just sucked the rest of the year, Tom. I tell you, be awful.
Well, they're in, so they'll be playing postseason baseball.
How old do you think Aaron Judge is?
29.
He's 32.
Whoa. All right.
Bat speed's leaving him.
That's, yeah, I'm
Looks
sure.
like it's all over. But they're shouting, Yankee fans.
I didn't expect on a Friday, 3 o'clock hour. I had it right the first time.
Mhm.
3 o'clock is the new 5 o'clock, as they say. And we'd have some Yankee schadenfreude. Okay.
It's fun to do that whenever you can. I try to bring it to the table if there's any reason to. So
it's funny, you know, I last night, Red Sox Yankees was on because it always is
2-1, and I bet the over.
Yeah, Soto with the walk-off RBI.
Mm-hmm.
TBS is starting to have more broadcasts now. Like the Mets were on TBS a week ago, so I pulled it up on that one. And in the middle of the season, when you have a game that's on national TV, it's an annoyance. But somewhere between August 1st and September 15th, when you have a game that's on a national broadcast, it sounds different because you know that those stakes are coming.
Yeah.
Those games are coming. And that's the best part of the year for me across sport. I know April has a nice little run there with the Masters and you're finishing up the Final Four and there's a whole lot of good stuff with baseball starting. But that week where you have college football, the NFL, and then about a 5-day run of Major League Baseball from noon till midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to the CP for a happy hour. We're going to be doing that in just a couple weeks' time.
Well, we're going to be doing that here in about 45 minutes or a couple hours. Yeah.
Yes, but you'll be strapped to the teeth with baseball that's wrapping up in a division series, baseball that's just about to begin in a division series. Oh, that's just the best.
It is, and it comes just in time because the Noles are 0-2, and their sports information staff are ensuring early on that you recognize they're 0-2. How do I know? Besides having watched the games? Well, the numbers to know in this week's notes for the game begins with FSU leads the ACC and ranks 7th nationally with a net punting average of 46.1.
No way.
Yes.
That really made it?
Yes, it did. Ryan Fitzgerald's 59-yard field goal versus Georgia Tech is the longest in a conference game in ACC history. That made the notes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that one at least got me to go, is that so?
In a conference game.
Yeah.
So I basically hit that 60-yarder against Florida.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then there's just random stats that, like, I don't know, you just maybe throw in there for the sake of it, but I would have guarded against throwing this one out there.
Against an 8-man box, Lawrence Toafili's averaging 28 yards a carry.
No, like
That's actually true.
Well, it's the one carry.
That's right.
I would not, by the way, throw this on the numbers to know section of the notes. FSU's 366 games played amongst its offensive linemen are the most in the country. No, don't tell everybody that. Because they've been bums. A bunch of bums through 2 games. That's what they've been.
I usually cringe when you do that, but this time I felt nothing.
Think about this. You've played 366 games amongst you, and the lot of you are out here sucking. Yeah, that's a toughie, buddy.
That's 30 years of 12-game seasons.
That's a lot of football, man. Guys' knees are breaking down. They're going to have to retire, find a home, free walkers. It's just awful. What makes it difficult? It makes it very difficult. You're like, well, wait a minute. That was supposed to be a strength, and they're just so bad.
Yeah, you could eat this a little bit better. Not that it would be delicious and delectable, but you could eat this if these were freshmen and sophomores and, making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of old at a lot of positions.
We're really old.
Quarterback, O-line. Malik Benson's not young.
No.
Roydell isn't. Toafili's not.
No.
Morlock's not.
No.
Linebackers aren't.
No.
Defensive front isn't.
No. Safety isn't. Well, one of your safeties isn't.
Yeah. The other one, if he plays, is not. You kind of hold it a lot. Ventrell's not a spring chicken for college football.
No, not at all. Yeah. A lot of veterans out there sucking. It's something. It is something. It changes tomorrow. Tomorrow, right after you guys arrive at Hotel Indigo, there will be a buzz in the air. You'll have a Bloody Mary, or perhaps you'll go with a mimosa. I don't know, whatever floats your boat. Maybe an ice cold beer. And you'll say, we're winning today. I'm going to go say hello to Jeff and Tom, shake their hand, finish this drink, and walk into that stadium where they're not going to be blaring music at ridiculous decibels that are permanently ruining my hearing. Instead, they will have altered the game day experience that is suitable for us, those of us that have contributed hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years to go and be a season ticket holder at Florida State. And we're going to have a wonderful day of proper football in which we walk away as 14-point victors, cover the spread, enlarge my betting bank account, and I'm going to have more cold beers. And then I'm going to grill some large shrimp, some salmon, and a massive T-bone. It's going to be great. I'll watch the night games. Having known that my team won their game earlier that day, I'll be free to yuck it up with all my good friends and family and flip around and make really irresponsible wagers for the late games. It's going to be a good Saturday.
And it all started at Hotel Indigo with that one beer or that one bloody. And that's what's going to bring me back is, I changed up my routine and Indigo was a part of it. And that's how I leapt into the world of proper football, which I think is a great catchphrase tomorrow. If we play well, just throw it out there. The people who are watching now, listening on the podcast will get it. Other folks won't. Throw it on your X account. It just says proper football, period. There you go. It's all that needs to be said. Let's see some proper
football. I'm just angling for some proper football. Haven't seen it. Not by us, anyhow. Just some proper football. Give it to me. Speaking of crazy bets that you make late at night in celebration of a victory earlier in the day and perhaps imbibing too much, did you see the final score of the South Alabama Northwestern State game? That happened last night. It was 87-10, everybody. 87-10. Now, here's what's notable about that story. Not that it was 87-10. It's that some bettors are a little pissed off because the game was so ugly. The coaches for both teams, like it's Little League, decided to stop playing. After just 54 minutes, they said, no mas, it's over. They didn't even just induce the running clock methodology. They just went, we're shutting it down. We're shutting it down. That's it. That's all. The Beatles on the rooftop. We're shutting it down. It's over.
So the books can shut down the bet in that situation?
Oh, here's how it looks.
Oh, that's nonsense.
Oh, here you go. Just so you know the rules, Tom, because I didn't know this. College football sportsbook house rules require 55 minutes of play for action to be considered valid. For there is leeway for interpretation. There is leeway for interpretation. This game played out in 54 minutes, not 55 minutes. DraftKings house rules state there must be 5 minutes or less of scheduled game time left for bets to have action unless the specific market outcome is already unconditionally determined. That last part is crucial. Over and under bets on the total, in this case, set at 59.5 per ESPN and other odds, ESPN bet, can be deemed unconditional. That had already been met. We were well past the over. So they hit regardless of anything that could have happened in the final 6 minutes of the game that wasn't played. DraftKings graded overs and unders as winners and losers, respectively. I don't know who was taking an alternate line of over 80, whatever the hell, or 97. That would have been something. Caesars, ESPN Bet, and FanDuel did not immediately respond to inquiries about what they did. For the point spread set at South Alabama minus 36.5, DraftKings graded all bets as void.
Whoa. That was also determined just as much as the over was.
Void.
Get the
you
hell out of
get
here.
nothing. That'll hurt your feelings. The book has since said it is awarding cash payouts Friday for any wagers on USA's full game and second half spreads as if they were winners. First half and third quarter wagers stand as is. BetMGM voided all full game wagers in accordance with house rules. Buddy, what the hell is that? I would be so like, wait a minute now.
And look,
fellas.
In the grand scheme of their operation, I doubt the handle on a South Alabama game is massive.
Correct.
Let it go. Because now the bad PR you're going to get is BetMGM. Like if I have an opportunity to be in a state where I got multiple choices, I'm not going to MGM. That's nonsense.
I have a BetMGM card, Tom. So do you.
I do.
I mean, we're not going to lie out here. We'll go to another BetMGM. We will, but you know.
No, but if I'm given the choice, especially on a sports book on my phone, I'm
yeah.
not going to use that nonsense. That's crazy.
3 circumstances like this have occurred 3 different times. Each one handled differently by head coaches and referees when you have this kind of an ass-kicking taking place. On August 29th, Arkansas defeated Arkansas Pine Bluff 70-0. So that just recently happened.
Also, quick caveat, if BetMGM does come to us for sponsorships, I say yes.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Just want to reserve that right.
Yeah. The teams decided to play 10-minute quarters in the second half in that 70-0 game. They said, look, man, what are we doing out here? This could end up being 100-0. So they just played 10 minutes quarters, but that meant the game lasted only 50 minutes. BetMGM and DraftKings applied the same rulings as they did for this past game last night. So they Some people got screwed. On September the 7th, Georgia beat Tennessee Tech 48-3. Now, that's not listen, Tennessee Tech hung in there. That's hanging in there. In that case, the coaches and officials decided to shorten the fourth quarter by 5 minutes, making for exactly 55 minutes of play, validating all action for the contest. That should just be the standard. Let everybody agree. All right, listen, guys, I know it's 63-0 late in the third. Here's the deal. We got to play 55 minutes. Buckle up the chin straps. Let's go. We got to play 55 minutes.
So it's South Alabama and who? Because I knew it was just that South Alabama was the one that ran roughshod.
Oh, South Alabama beat Northwestern State.
Okay, so Northwestern State, my theory, has one guy, one booster. He's laughed at by all his buddies. They're all independently wealthy beyond, and he spends all this money. And he got in the ear of the coach, and he said, 55 minutes is the rule. I'm about to lose more than I care to admit here on plus 36.5. So I need you to quit with 6 minutes to go.
Call this a day?
Because I've got BetMGM. Okay.
Northwestern State is in the Southland Conference. That is a conference with Incarnate Word, Lamar, Houston Christian, Nichols, Texas A&M Commerce. Their record on the year is 0-3, as you might guess. Had a hell of a game against Prairie View. Almost pulled it off. Lost 37-31. Their other two games, they gave up 62 to Tulsa. It's a toughie. 87 last night to South Alabama. They've got mighty Weber State on the horizon. If you're looking to make a wager, Weber State is 4 of their last 5 games have been wins. Their lone loss was to Washington, 35-3. Hanging in there, Weber.
All right, Weber. Lay the points.
Weber beat Idaho last year. Weber beat who the hell is PRST? Portland State. They beat Portland State earlier this year.
Prost University.
They're the Vikings, which would be fun. You could have some fun with that. All right, we'll move on from that. I've never heard of that. That's always fun. But, yeah, some people got screwed. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Investors, are you looking for a creative way to purchase your next rental property? Are you looking to get into the Airbnb space? If so, you need to know about DSCR loans. It stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. These are loans that do not require traditional income verification. As long as the proposed rent covers the mortgage payment on the subject property, that's the only income you need. If you're looking at investing and don't know if you can qualify, let's set up a plan to get your next income producing property and start putting you on a path to passive income. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. And don't forget, every fellow Knoll that we close a loan for, I will personally make a donation of $250 to the Battle's End. It's Shannon Young at 954-369-6171.
Equal housing limit. NMLS number 373031.
Harmon, you look so twisted. What did you do now?
Well, Hank the alligator needed his teeth brushed, and when I bent over to give him a scrub, my back popped like an afternoon lightning storm in Florida. And now I can't even stand up.
You need to go to FinChiro.com and schedule your new patient appointment right away at FinChiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com.
I'm really busy. I don't want to leave Hank in the orange grove unattended for too long.
Fin Chiropractic will get you in right away, and they get to the cause of your problems. So go to FinChiro.com and make your new patient appointment. There's even an online discount.
Discount? That's a good thing because my purse is a little light since I bought Hank a new gold chain.
You have to take care of yourself if you want to be able to take care of your alligator, Hank. Make your appointment now. Go to FinChiro.com.
Well, hold my pina colada. I'm going to FinChiro.com.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old funny paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale. The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like Tallahassee Automobile Museum, Krispy Kreme Donuts, Keith Lawson Services, or ABC Flooring. Tallahassee's leading supplier of in-stock, top-of-the-line ceramic, carpet, waterproof, and hardwood floors since 1990. At ABC Flooring, you can pick out your floor and installation can begin in 48 hours. ABC Flooring is also the leading supplier of in-stock landlord property management products in the Panhandle. Visit their warehouse showroom on Capitol Circle Southeast or call 877-6600.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Hey, so good news, man. Good news. I wanted to reach out. Tom did too. We both did to attorneys.
You didn't trust mine. That's okay.
I did trust your attorney. We are journalists. We did a second sourcing.
That's correct.
It's what you do. So your attorney said that this filing for summary judgment is a very big deal. And the reasons, and I'm paraphrasing, and you can give me what he said, and I will in turn tell you what an attorney I just heard from said. And this is how we will explain to you. And that way, because neither of us are attorneys, we can put the ball in the court of actual attorneys and give you the information we have from them. And that way I don't try to sound smarter than I am about the law. So the thought being, Tom, your lawyer said, look, you don't do this unless you think you got the goods.
Yeah, exactly. And what it does, well, there's two levels to it. There's this part of it, and then there's getting it on the books, the action part of it, where there's a hearing and the stakes are for real.
Yeah.
And so this is the clarion call that you are prepared to essentially go all in. And then the next part of it is to actually see the hand and play the hand. And what that does is it sets up a pressure point. It gives you a barrier in time, right? Like this is ACC. Look, we can go the distance here, but I'm trying to push for a hearing sooner than later, because if this is ruled in our favor, then I walk. So that's the leverage point that Florida State is trying to create here with today's push for a summary judgment or a partial summary judgment. Is they're trying to start the clock in order to apply pressure for negotiation purposes.
Yes. Okay. So Florida State filed a motion for partial summary judgment.
Correct.
In its lawsuit against the ACC. In a 574-page filing submitted to the court on Tuesday, the Noles attorneys challenged that the ACC's misrepresented its 2016 amended grant of rights, the enforceability of the league's liquidated damages, and claims the ACC has breached its constitution. All right, that's what FSU has claimed. Okay, now look, you just did a good job of telling our audience what your attorney friend told you.
Correct. The last thing I'll say is I asked, okay, that all sounds good. From your legal opinion, does this scream Hail Mary or no, I'm the better football team?
You're in a position of strength, right?
And his answer was, we're in a position of strength would be the reason to take this step.
All right, here you go. A motion for summary judgment. My attorney friend, you do not file a motion for summary judgment unless you have the cards.
That's interesting.
Because typically you only get one bite at a motion for summary judgment. It's a partial summary judgment, so it's only regarding part of the claims. He goes on to say, I need to read more. I'll get back to you tonight. But he also said, look, they must think they have a slam dunk here or they would not have done that.
Correct. Which is, we have consensus there between our two people.
He goes on to say, this is also consensus, this would put a huge amount of pressure on negotiations if this is in fact successful. So this is a big deal. And he complimented your lawyer, buddy.
Oh, there you go.
By
Nice.
saying, I agree with him. He's hit the nail on the head here. I'm going to review more tonight and give you more information so that you can have it for next week. Well, thank you, buddy.
Okay.
If you're listening to my show, thank you, buddy.
So
appreciate you. But yes.
Here's the thing, is apparently this was filed this week.
Yes.
It doesn't mean like it was filed 9 o'clock this morning, right? So it was filed this week. You can start to put the pieces together on the president's meeting that runs late.
That's exactly what I was talking about, buddy.
Yeah.
That there was a buzz in the air that some things were happening.
Now that's me speaking from a place of hope and not absolute knowledge that the two things are connected, but it's a tough coincidence to sell at this point as a coincidence. That's got to be connected. Got to be. Hopefully.
Yeah. I don't really know that I need to comment on this further. We're going to get an answer at some point, and I just think it's nice to know that Florida State feels like they have at least an element of this under control. They feel good about what they have here.
Hope they're right.
Yeah, they could go against them, and then all of a sudden things are sped up the wrong way. They would do that. I mean,
don't think so
both
either.
of these two attorneys that we just talked to, I don't think they would do it either.
Well, I don't think a firm would represent them in that situation, you know?
Right.
Like, I'll take your money. I'm a filer. You're going to lose. Like, I don't think that's a conversation that's had, but interesting. Now, again, this moves at legal speed, not speed that we would assume. So, like, this could be that the hearing is set for months from now. I don't know. I don't know when that would get on the docket, but my guy was careful to say this is a step and a big one, but the real one is when you have a date on the books, because then the negotiations have a period of time that they must run up against.
Yeah. So we had the ACC appeal, we had Florida State's appeal, we had this motion for summary judgment. You had what went on with the Pac-12 plucking 4 new teams out of the Mountain West, which kind of kickstarted the conversation about conference realignment yet again. Is it just going to be those 4? Will they add at least another 2 to 3 or 4 teams? Well, everybody thinks they're going to add more because right now they don't have enough to be granted any of the votes that they would need, like in any sort of major college football decision-making.
The last point that's worth bringing up, let's say that they go the distance and Florida State gets a ruling in their favor. Florida State just walks away. Like that would be what Florida State would hope for in that summary judgment setting if you get that far. However, that ruling can be appealed. Like, so you could be celebrating in the aisles of the courtroom and people are hugging from the university, but the conference could appeal still at that point. So there is a little bit of wiggle room, but they don't want to go that far because at appeals court, I mean, at that point, Florida State would just act. They would act on the ruling and to hell with the consequences after at that point, I would think.
This is, it's fun. FDFC says DJU moves at legal speed too. I think that's true.
Something's up there.
I've been startled by how slow he is. It's unsettling. I think my wife is faster than him, and my wife is the slowest person to ever try to run. In fairness to her, she had a devastating knee injury when she was a little kid, and it hampers her ability to run. But man alive. If she heard me say, she might actually get mad about that. Nobody tell my wife I said that. She's slow. I remember the first time I ever saw her run. She was running against my little kids, our little kids. And they were like 5 and 3. And I was like, well, is Bryce going to beat Christy in a race? We were on the beach. I was like, babe, I can hop faster than you're running.
Yeah.
On one leg.
With a bad hammy.
This is not good.
Yeah. There was a play against Georgia Tech where he's moving at a decent clip. And I remember remarking on that and saying, oh, there it is. It's the test. I learned a lesson as a little kid. Sometimes movies or books teach you a little lesson. It was Little Big League, the movie.
Yeah.
And his favorite player, he's now managing the team. The kid manages the Twins. And his favorite player it's his hero, has a hit. First hit in like however many bats. And there it is. I told you. And his bench coach says, you realize you're celebrating for one hit out of 30. And then they cut the guy. Well, I learned something about outliers in that situation when I was 6 or 7 years old. And so when DJ's moving at that clip where I'm saying, there it is, the fact that I can see it and remark on it once, something's wrong there. Something's up.
Yes, no, Dad. Lorenzen is dead. He died rather recently, within the last couple of years. I think even Tom knew that Jared Lorenzen was dead, and Tom will not. Tom will fall asleep on the job when it comes to the Deadpool.
No, I'll let you. Well, if you're not a legendary golfer, that's the case. You are the proper authority to ask if anybody's died.
I will tell you, and I'll usually tell you how the year and what happened.
You ever want to pull like a really elaborate prank?
He's
on
been
Jeff?
dead for 5 years. I thought it was 2. I whiffed on this one. I knew he was dead.
If you ever want to pull a really elaborate prank on you, it starts with a byline that says somebody died of note, because you'll click on that.
Oh, I'll click on that.
It's like a mock draft. You're clicking on that.
I'm clicking on that story, buddy. Don't let it be a summertime death. You die in the middle of the summer, I'm clicking the hell out of your links. I'm finding out exactly everything that ever happened to you in your life. I'm reading the thorough summary of your existence.
Hey, today's the odd day of the autopsy coming out.
Hey, today is Friday the 13th. And did you know, and we got a break, but we will in a second. I started thinking about Friday the 13th today, not because I'm superstitious at all. That's stupid. But because I was remembering when I was 9 years old that I saw, 9 or 10, that I saw Friday the 13th, the first one. And it freaked me out. I was a little, obviously, there's some gruesome deaths in Friday the 13th. So then I wanted to know, because as you get older, you remember things and then you think, do I remember that right? So this morning I went and looked up when Friday the 13th came out, and I was right. I was spot on. It came out in 1980. And you know what I stumbled across? I stumbled across the fact that Friday the 13th 1, which was just the Friday the 13th, but Friday the 13th 2 and Friday the 13th 3, they weren't fooling around. They knew they had a hit on their hands, buddy. Friday the 13th came out in 1980. Friday the 13th 2 came out in 1981. Friday the 13th 3 came out in 1982, and so on and so on. They weren't fooling around. They were mass producing some murder.
Well, it's also, if you've just got a practical effects department, not CGI, you can turn these things around real fast.
It was quick.
Yeah. You know what I watched this week? This is back in that era.
Friday the 13th?
Nope. That would be something. I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No.
Oh, now come on, man. You got to see Friday the 13th. Now, it's what it is. But yeah, you got to see it. It's not as good as Halloween. That's one of the greatest horror movies of all time. It's awesome. Yeah.
First Blood. I watched it this week.
It's good. The first one. Yeah, First Blood.
Yeah,
It's not Rambo. It's First Blood.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's the only one that's good.
I had not seen the first 30 minutes of the
Oh
sequence.
my God, that's the whole thing.
I always see
Brian Dennehy beating the bejesus out of him.
Well, and the other guy with the nightstick.
Yes.
The guy with the mustache.
Oh, he's good at his role, isn't he?
He is. He's a real piece of crap within 10 seconds.
Oh, you're like this guy. And then he across the lower back, the whole thing.
And then the redheaded guy who doesn't have the courage of his convictions.
David Caruso.
Oh, that's David Caruso?
That's David Caruso, who didn't know it at the time, but he was going to go on to be a huge star, and then he was going to be suddenly out of film altogether.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It was good, though.
It's great.
What snuck up on me, though, is when they're shaving him. And he
he's
sees
the flashbacks,
and the guy with the knife on the chest. That kind of
well,
stuff.
you got to think about the knives.
I do.
Cutting.
It's like, oh, Rambo, no.
Oh man,
you could put him on a mattress and electrocute him all
You're
you want.
fine
Like
with
they
that.
did too. No problem.
Dude, the speech at the end will choke you up.
Oh, that I've seen that a million times.
It's great.
It's terrible.
Some good acting.
It is. It's also you need captions for the first minute, that's what it would be.
Yeah. Oh, it's tough.
They're talking about his Corvette or whatever.
Yeah, the whole thing.
That's awful.
Yeah, you get mad for him when he's just trying to cross the bridge.
He wanted somewhere to eat.
He's just trying to walk. He's just trying to. What are we doing? Busting balls out here.
Well, the problem is that they didn't do a good enough job in makeup. He has to look like a hobo. and he looks like
Said he looks
Sylvester
like a
Stallone.
decent-looking guy who's kind of built
with a perm, and it's like a blonde perm.
He's
got blonde highlights.
It's the 80s. It's the
He's
80s.
got to be like scraggly, and
They did do a good job with the Pacific Northwest, though, and the whole like, man, times are tough. He just needs some cigarettes. He needs to listen to Jolene. This is a tough day for Rambo. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Tallahassee police have arrested one armed and dangerous suspect after a home invasion escalated into a shooting near Appleyard Drive Wednesday. As two suspects fled the scene at the Socials 2700 in a vehicle, the suspects fired several gunshots in the area. No injuries were sustained in the shooting. At this time, one suspect has been detained, and officers are working to locate an additional suspect. The preliminary investigation revealed this is an isolated incident, and there is no ongoing threat to public safety. The residence is near Tallahassee State College, prompting school officials to issue an alert around 3:30 p.m., urging people in the area to seek safe shelter immediately and await further instructions. The investigation remains open and active, and updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Discount grocery chain Aldi is set to open in Thomasville on Thursday, September 19th. Customers will have the opportunity to enter a sweepstake during the grand opening weekend for a chance to win a $500 Aldi gift card. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
Now, here's your Paul's Termite and Pest Control Tallahassee weather report.
Returning to a more normal pattern and clearing out somewhat for the weekend. Still a possibility of scattered showers and storms. Highs staying in the mid to upper 80s. Tonight, a 40% chance of showers and storms early, partly cloudy, low of 73. Saturday, a 40% chance of showers and storms, mostly sunny with a high of 88. 40% chance on Sunday, high of 89. From Real Talk 93.3, this is Danielle Kelly.
For the elimination of termites, pests, and for a greener lawn too, call Paul's. They'll get them all.
This is Hugh Tomlinson, president of the Tallahassee Quarterback Club. I invite you to join our historic club supporting local football since 1949. Don't miss our exciting events featuring legendary and popular football personalities. Get updates from FSU coaches, win great door prizes, and stay on top of all local football. Attend our next event featuring Trent Dilfer on September the 17th. Get your tickets or join our club at TallahasseeQBClub.com. That's TallahasseeQBClub.com. Get in the game, get in the club.
Maddie, did you hear Grassroots Coffee is now the official coffee of FSU's NIL collective, The Battle's End?
Yes, I've heard tons of people talking about it and the new coffee, Battle's End Blend.
Yeah, every time you buy a bag of Battle's End Blend specialty coffee, you help support FSU athletes and help our Noles be more competitive.
Every time I buy a bag?
Anytime anyone buys a bag, retail or wholesale for business. Just imagine how much impact we can have if every time FSU alumni and fans take a sip of coffee, FSU athletes benefit.
Just go to grassrootscoffee.com, select Battles and Blend and the size and grind setting you want. And if you have a coffee shop, restaurant, or even a business that has coffee in the break room, you can buy it wholesale at Grassroots Wholesale Portal, grassrootscoffeeroasters.com.
Locally owned, locally roasted, locally loved, and committed to our Noles. Grassroots Coffee.
So good.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Scoring in the retirement red zone, building a winning game plan, all very important things to do. If you go to NoelRetirement.com, you can find out what my friend Adam and his co-workers and experts at Artisan Financial Strategies have in store for you. You'll see things to look at in terms of their services: financial planning, estate and legacy planning, risk management, investment management, business succession and exit strategies. So much here. And you can get a free assessment, by the way, if you just join the email list. You should. He's really good at what he does. That team is really good at what they do. Tom, cue it up. Let's get to the red zone.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burnt the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know who I am.
North, South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
It's good to know.
And away we go. What do you got? What are you laughing about, buddy?
Leslie Nielsen. Every once in a while, that interview he does for the one movie where he's got the fart machine with
the
him.
whoopee cushion fart machine
Whoopee
thing.
cushion,
Yeah.
yeah. The best part is actually when the guy starts and he goes, ah! I laugh at that every time. So.
All right, what do we got here for first down? It's first down. Let's go.
All right, first down. I can't. Sometimes bros chip the bricks around here, so I'm not going to say catches. Instead, I'm going to come to you with a targets over/under. Over/under 5.5 targets for Hakeem Williams.
Oh, wow. Under.
Ooh.
First game back, he'll get 4 targets, 5 targets maybe.
Okay. Bonus first down play.
Oh, we got a 1B here, huh?
1B. Over/under 3 impressive blocks on the perimeter for Hakeem Williams.
Well, I mean, first of all, he engages and loves 2 blocks, so I'll go over.
Okay. They might need that this weekend. Yes or no, Florida State uses condensed sets most often tomorrow. This is formationally speaking. Do they look more like Georgia Tech and kind of the second half of BC, but that was so disjointed it was a mess? Or do they look like first half Boston College where they are spread out wide?
You could argue to do both. You and I have talked about this. You really could, but I'll go condensed. I think they're going to power it up here, buddy.
Yes or no, third down. Are we proud of the defensive line and their ability to rush the passer, specifically rush the passer tomorrow?
Repeat that question. I'm sorry.
As it pertains to the defensive line,
yeah.
Yes or no, are we going to be proud of the D-line's ability to rush the passer tomorrow?
Well, you got to win first down to ever get to a place where that can happen, and they have not been doing enough of that. I suspect they'll play with their hair on fire and that they'll be really aggressive. So I say, yeah, I think we'll be pretty happy with that. I got other areas of concern, but yeah, no, I think the defensive line will have a much better day. Just let them loose. Let everybody loose. Let's go. They're out there thinking too much. You can trigger here and just fire. Let's go.
Fourth down. Do you have any concerns because of what happened in camp, where we thought both trenches were playing at a good level and they weren't? Does that give you any, by extension, concerns about the secondary and what the secondary will look like tomorrow against a team that should pass more?
I'd like to see it, man. I really enjoy the play of Azareye'h Thomas. I think we have some talented, lengthy, athletic members of this secondary. Let's see them get tested. They really haven't been because teams haven't had to. They just run the ball. They've just run the ball against us. And then, you'll hit that wheel route over and over again, which is annoying as all hell. But, yeah, I'd like to see our corners have to lock it up against receivers. And yeah, that means we're doing something well. It means they're having to throw. It means you're stopping the run a little bit. So, yes, I think we'll be impressed with our corners.
Yeah, Ric Flair is correct. The secondary has not been tested at all.
No.
However, Hennigan and Memphis offense has seen nothing but off coverage the first couple of weeks. So they should come up and we'll find out. We're going to find out. We don't have a fan down question, but Hawaii, Noel, I'll just ask you, do you agree with this sentiment or not? You might as well send the backers. They ain't doing anything in coverage.
Well, that's 100% true. And, I've been screaming that for a while. I don't want to talk about our linebackers. I say hateful things. It verges on getting personal. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous you're at Florida State and you watch that kind of linebacker play. Safety play too right now, by the way.
All right, Ray Wilmer, here's the fan question. I'm going to set an over-under. He's asking about communication. Over-under 2.5 awful communication busts. And that's linebackers to corners, safeties to corners,
well,
corners
at this point, you have to say over.
Yeah, I think you do.
I mean, you have to. It sounds silly, but I think you have to. I have called for certain individuals to be fired.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I can do. I still wanted a coach that I have mentioned many times to be fired in the midst of a 13-0 season. So you know how I feel now. I think that this start, no matter what they're able to rectify, is going to be the impetus for real change. I think he's going to have to fire several people.
This isn't part of the red
He
zone.
doesn't want to, but he's going to have to.
This isn't part of the red zone questions, but are you going to wake up tomorrow expecting to see Brock Glenn in the game?
I don't think so. No, as the week's gone on, I've felt more sure that they won't play Brock Glenn. If they do, I think it'll be like, in packages that they've got designed for him, and he'll run the ball quite a bit, I think, or at least they'll move him out of the pocket and give him a run-pass option.
At that point, if you were bringing him in to run, wouldn't you just run the Wildcat? That's what I felt like. This was my emotional response to the second loss was, man, anytime Mike is pushed up against it, he will run the hell out of some Wildcat. Jayshon Corbin in a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1 all the way through the ACC championship game.
He loves it, doesn't he?
He sure as heck does. And with Cam, he was a high school quarterback. You could do it that way and actually have a dude who can run you over, has vision, and a bit of an arm.
Now, that's something you might see. You might see a little Cam at quarterback running the Wildcat. You're right. That he did it in high school. He could, yeah.
You have that with Mekhi Danzy? Oh, 2 freshmen in the backfield. You got a speedy guy.
Have some fun out here, man. We're getting tricky-dicky. Let's do it up.
All right, final question. 7th down. Do we need to get tricky-dicky tomorrow in order to win?
Well, we already reached in our bag of tricks against Boston College and looked like a bunch of morons. It was ridiculous.
For a gain of 18.
Yeah.
Probably more than that, but that's what it felt like.
You guys know this. The 5 years leading up to your retirement date and the immediate 5 years after a critical time of thoughtful planning, they are a critical time of thoughtful planning for you and your family. Let our friend and fellow Noel, Adam Tolliver, and his team of artists and financial strategies help prepare you to victory, man. Go to noelretirement.com. Guard your family against rising healthcare costs. Make sure that their 30-plus years of planning experience and world-class resources are there to help you. I strongly recommend it. noelretirement.com. Now we have 6 minutes.
Your choice. Now or in 3 minutes' time?
Let's do now.
All right. We stay here.
I like it.
As the play-by-play broadcast crew says when there's an injury, we keep it here.
You get any baseball in you this weekend?
Any viewing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, tonight for sure. Playing the Phillies.
Oh, you got to
you got to get geared up for that.
You have to go to the CP.
No, man, I'm telling
you. You have to go to the CP, buddy. Big game.
In my 20s, to hell with tomorrow's consequences. But as I'm pushing 40, you really have to think twice.
All right, hit that probables button. Here we go. You don't have to play any music, although I miss it.
I miss you, music.
I do.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Royals, Buccos. It makes me think of my good buddy from back in the day, Chris Sturgeon, who was a diehard Royals fan and had a clip from his the Kansas City Star, I think it was, of him catching a George Brett home run at the game.
Oh, wow.
In the newspaper. Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
Right next to his brother Scott. I hope they're doing well. It's been years. Kansas City's got Alec Marsh, Luis L. Ortiz for the Buccos. Mets, Phillies, Jose Quintana, man, that creep can roll. Aaron Nola goes for the Phillies. Orioles, Tigers. How about the Tigers this year? They've been a pleasant surprise.
They are not dead yet in the wild card race.
75 and 72.
Yeah.
Zach Eflin goes for the Orioles. Bo Brisky going for the Tigers.
Want some whiskey?
Marlins, Nationals, Edward Cabrera. DJ Hertz going for the Nats. Red Sox, Yankees, Tanner Houck, Clark Schmidt. Cardinals, Blue Jays, Eric Feedy and Kevin Gosman. We got the Rays and the Guardians. That's Zach Littell and Tanner Bibby. Dodgers, Braves, great game. Landon Knack and Spencer Schwellenbach. Athletics, White Sox. Ooh, no. That is not what you do. That they can't combine to get anywhere close to 100 wins with their 2 records. That's nuts. Brady Basso, Garrett Crochet. Reds Twins, that is Julian Aguiar, Bailey Ober. Cubs Rockies, Javier Assad, Austin Gomber. Astros Angels, Yusikuchi. Samuel Eldehan goes for the Angels. Brewers D-backs, Freddie Peralta, Eduardo Rodriguez. Rangers Mariners, that's Jacob deGrom. Hey, Jacob deGrom making his debut this year for the Rangers.
There you go. Just in time for the postseason.
True story.
That they won't be a part of.
Mariners TBD. Padres, Giants, Dylan Cease and Logan Webb. And what was the stat on our boy Cal Raleigh with the Mariners?
Back-to-back 30 home run campaigns for Cal Raleigh.
For a catcher.
That's so good.
Doing some things, man. It is. It's really doing some things. That's cool. Had a fun day today. This was good. Good show. Great job. I did awesome. So did you, buddy. So did you.
You don't have to tell me.
I'm wondering if we're right about the Tua thing. That sucks, man. Sucks for him. I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it or anything like that. It's football. It's a tough game. Guys made a lot of money. But that's the other reason that I'd walk away.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Come on, man. You get your rest of your life. Let's go.
You got plenty of cash. I was just looking up really quickly Cal Raleigh's ops because I wanted to see where he is, 30 home run seasons. He makes the most out of those home runs. And it's not a knock, but you would expect in a 30 home run campaign to see somewhere around 800 ops.
Mm-hmm.
738 this year. 762 last year with 30 home runs. So he makes it count when he hits for power.
Got something new to tell you, but it's from the files of what else is new. Tiger Woods had to have surgery yesterday.
On what?
His back.
Oh, boy.
He says that he hopes this one will relieve the constant back spasms that he's experienced while playing. It's his 6th surgery on his back in the last 10 years. 6? We're going to call this a day. My man.
Did you see he came out in support of his favorite quarterback in college football? You know who it is?
No.
Mertz. I like Mertz.
By the way, Mertz is going to play some, I guess, for Florida against Texas A&M. I wouldn't do it. I'm Lagway the rest of the year. I'm letting my fans get a little taste of Lagway, the good, the bad, the ugly. He's got some amazing throws in that arm. He's also got terrible decisions on the horizon and everything in between, but he's got real upside. Mertz doesn't. Mertz has got nothing.
2nd and 9 after the completion.
Here comes 3rd and 7, 2 for 2 on this drive for Mertz.
2 for 2, 3 yards.
2 for 2, 3rd and 7. Hurt your feelings. You're like, what in the world?
And somehow he'll carry a clipboard in the NFL for 10 years.
Oh, because he'll be a pro's pro, and there's something to that. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, man, you're not winning anything big with him. You're not winning anything big with him. By the way, you ever listen to a little jazz question for you? Ever listen to a little Bill Evans on piano?
Yes.
Yeah?
Grandfather's Waltz is my favorite song.
Oh, buddy.
Grandfather's Waltz is my favorite jazz composition.
I have gone down the road. The Bill Evans catalog has been killing it in my house.
Stan Getz and Bill Evans combined on that particular number. Oh, it's one of my favorite things.
But I have all the early Bill Evans solo almost said something like stuff from the early 50s. Found all kinds of early 50s, mid 50s.
Schmidt.
Bill Evans stuff is killing it.
Oh, man.
My kids are like, what are we doing, Dad? What's with all the piano? I'm like, you shut your mouth. Listen to Bill Evans. Peace.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff.